everybody, and welcome. Welcome back to another Lightbringer. We've got a pretty good show tonight because last week our kids finally made it up to the surface, so we're going to find out what they see as they step out into the open sky. So it'll be pretty interesting. Before we jump into the thick of things, though, we're going to let everybody introduce themselves a little bit here. I'll cover how viewers can interact with the game with viewer actions, and then we'll jump into the actual story. So starting off with Michael, tell us a little bit about Billy and yourself.
Hello there, I'm Michael Wayne. About the Twitters, as you give me a clip, I'll make you a GIF. Billy is kind of looking forward and scared since this is a way I can help Kira out. And maybe things will go well. And hopefully no one will distract me with explosives.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about those.
I didn't.
Awesome. Where can we find you online and all that? That get us.
That's what I started with. I was Michael Wayne on Twitter, so that way I could just roll into Billy for you.
Oh, I got you. Okay, cool deal. Econorlax, tell us a little bit about Nira and yourself.
I'm Knorlax. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter under this name. I'm playing Nira. She is a white cat-like humanoid. The race is called Kataran. Well, as for the class, she's been doing a little of her personal journey. She was first a thief, then not a thief, then a sentinel candidate, then a follower of Radiant Fishgiver, a cleric of Radiant Fishgiver, and now she's an Imperial Stormtrooper. And she's definitely not tall enough for that because she's only 2 feet tall.
Fantastic. Perfect. And then Gwen, tell us a bit about Xavier and yourself.
So I'm Gwen. I'm not important at all. This is Xavier is your resident wrench in the machine.
Occasionally. I think you all do your fair share of throwing monkey wrenches into the plans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, currently has the power of light and darkness battling within him.
Yeah.
That's not gonna backfire at all.
No,
at all.
Of course not. Fantastic. And then we've got Callan with Conrad. Tell us a little bit about Conrad and yourself.
Hello. Good evening to you all. Today I will be once again taking up the mantle, the role of one Conrad Bentley, Dark Wizard in training. He's a excitable, nervous, skittish, foppish young British lad. And he's cares a lot about his friends. He's trying to keep them safe, at some cost to himself. Very excited to be here as always. You can find me here every week, or on Twitter at my little name. Excited for the episode.
So me too. I of course am Raven, tabletop streamer, professional game master, and tabletop game designer. I also do writing, editing, graphic design, and composite art, and voice acting. I do a little bit of everything. You can find out all about that at my Twitter, which is right below my face. And then, of course, here on Twitch every day except Thursday and Sunday. So as I mentioned, viewer actions, ways that you can actually affect the story as someone watching the show. There's a number of different ways that you can do so. One of them is by simply interacting with the tweet of the game. For every like, retweet, and comment, every 5 of those rather, we give a D4 to the cast and to the DM.
You just hit 5.
Fantastic. There you go. So that's one way that you can do that. You can also use guild coins, which is the little rainbow circle token icon below your Twitch chat box. You can click on that and see how you can use those. There's a lot of different options there, and you get those coins just for watching and interacting with the stream. And then finally, if you want to support the channel monetarily, there's a number of ways that you can interact with the show as well. All of those are right below our faces here. with this chart. Most of those are pretty self-explanatory, but a couple of them that might not be. The switch allows someone to tell someone else, hey, you need to change the action word in what you're saying. Also, thank you very much, Michael, for that $4 tip. Thank you. How would you like to use that?
I was trying to wait until after you were done to respond.
No worries.
D6 to the cast.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that's the switch. It's pretty fun. It can be pretty entertaining because the player can't use a direct synonym as the replacement either, so it has to change their action in some way. So it can derail plans pretty quickly, which is oftentimes fun to watch. The borrowed success, I think, is the other one that's a little bit not self-explanatory. So, nose itches. So the borrowed success, the player automatically succeeds at what they're trying to do. But every subsequent skill check after that, or any roll that they make, I will roll a d20, and if it lands on 15, that was the success they used. So it's a bit of a gamble with that one. You succeed immediately at what you're trying to do, but you might lose a success later. So it's a pretty fun one to throw in there. But you can do all of that through coffee.com/Raven, through raven.rocks. You can see both of those websites there on the chart. And also, if you are a patron, Bard tier or plus, you get a certain amount of credits each month that you can spend on these things as well. So lots of different ways that you can interact. Yes, you do. So there's lots of different ways that you can use those. With that, we're going to jump into the game. So, as I mentioned, last week when we left off, everyone was just getting ready to step out into the surface. We had everybody sort of shoulder to shoulder, staring out, with Xavier hovering in a comfy office chair, like Professor X or something. It was pretty funny. And it looked a little something like this as to what they were all staring at. There we go.
We're back.
So,
And Billy was behind pushing.
yes. So before you know what you see, was there anything else you wanted to do before stepping out into this new mysterious landscape?
Conrad had sort of, as we noticed, there was light streaming in, put on a heavy coat and sort of put the collar up, so he looks like a sort of weird, stunted noir detective or something. And he's for fear that perhaps whatever this bright light is may react harshly to him. But it happened to be a little bit cold up here too, so he's using that as a cover.
Okay. Fantastic. Is anybody else doing anything different?
Xavier's got his eyes closed.
Okay. Well, in that case, as you step out, here's what you see. So you're just outside of Echo City, and you're on sort of a little hill.
Oh goodness.
And as you look out, you can see what is obviously the remains of a city. There are lots of buildings, but they all look like they've been abandoned. None of them really have real windows or anything like that. I'd say at least a quarter of the buildings are crumbling into rubble. And there's a dense sort of dark fog that seems to be clinging to the city. Some of it looks, well, I suppose for all of you kids, all of it would look unnatural, as you haven't really experienced this type of fog before. But for the player's benefit, some of it looks like natural fog and some of it looks unnatural. And everything is very, very dark. Most of the sky overhead is very overcast. And there's very little natural light getting through the clouds. So it's not quite nighttime looking, but it's, I'd say probably definitely dusk type lighting. Maybe a little bit darker.
Goodness.
So, are we just gonna keep heading forwards until we find something, or do we actually have a plan?
We actually don't.
Because I know we
We
planned
do.
to get
We
up.
absolutely do. We go to the nearest library.
Okay, which direction then?
I don't like this. I don't like the way it
Um,
looks. This everything.
I did not plan this far ahead. Besides library.
Okay, then. So, let's think about this. We're in an unknown area. We want
Yes,
to
the
get
library will have
information.
maps.
So, would it
How
make
could-
so would it make sense for us to head towards whatever could be the highest point that we can walk to, so we can survey everything?
Well,
we-
at the
to-
moment, you're pretty much at that point. The only other highest point you could get to is if you went to one of the tallest buildings potentially and got to the top and looked around. But you've got a pretty good spot where you can see most of what's left of the city from here.
Could I roll to see if they would know which one looks the most like a library?
You can certainly try.
Can Billy, doing a naturalist roll, see kind of like which direction animals or any life might be?
Yeah, you can try that as well.
Nira-
What would I roll for that?
Nira says,
Education for Xavier.
I don't think we can get to the highest point. There are no walls to climb.
Yes, it just doesn't end.
Yes.
Well, like
Uh,
maybe we are at the highest point then. That's progress.
No, there's always something above the level we are.
You mean this blue thingy sky? Doesn't look blue. Looks almost like
Yes.
What's
I got
that?
24
Hey,
What's that
for
color
education.
that's on the metal? It's not black and it's not brown. Has a mix of white in there.
Silva?
Yeah, it's the sky's got a silver tint to it, I think.
Yeah, it's a bit of that. It's for the player's benefit. It looks like a purple reddish type sun diluted through a lot of clouds.
If there are no walls, we will never finish salvaging this room.
Yes. How could you fit this on a map? Where would you know where to end it? It just keeps going.
Well,
You
Never direct-
have
I-
a really, really big map. It folds out.
I feel sort of like I might be sick.
Well, look, maybe it might be better to think of it as we were part of a drop up in a pool, and now we've opened ourselves up to a stream. And that stream's connected to a network, and we don't know where the network is, but we've expanded from where we were.
When you pull a fish from a stream and show it the world around, really, it starts to drown. But it does so in a panic.
I thought that
I've-
they were trying to get out of your hand, not panicking.
I've just never felt so small.
Oh, would it help if you were on my shoulder?
No,
That way you're taller.
no, I don't imagine it would, but I appreciate the effort.
Yeah,
Uh,
to give you all some perspective too, you'd probably be able to tell that looking at this city, it's about the size of all of the major cities that you know of combined. Also, real quick, Michael, for Billy with the 18 on the naturalist roll, there are no signs of fauna or flora anywhere within your immediate vicinity.
Nothing green.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Xavier with a 24, You vaguely remember that libraries looked like public buildings. You remember reading that somewhere, but you can't recall what a public building is supposed to look like. But
Savior,
whatever
say
public
that out
building
loud.
looks like, that's what libraries would look like.
It's supposed to be a public building. Whatever those look like.
Okay. What did the community room have?
The community room was big. It had a dome.
There you go! We're looking for something big and round and domey.
I suppose. Don't we know what we're looking for? We're looking for this this temple, this church, aren't we?
Well, isn't that what the library is? It's like a church for books?
Well, I mean, if Xavier
Yes.
if Xavier had intended to
Absolutely.
sort of worship, I imagine that they would do it at a library. Yes, but
Of course, I would.
Oh,
That's
I
the
know,
only
I know,
thing
I know,
worth
I know. I have an
worshipping.
idea.
What Nira?
Yes.
What Nira?
Maybe the helmets know where the library is.
Okay.
perhaps.
That's an excellent idea, actually. I wonder if the helmets have access to the library, and we don't have to even go anywhere.
We know that they're disconnected from wherever their home is.
Yeah.
But perhaps they should remember the city.
This is their home.
Mark Twain. Either
Which one
either
was
of you, I
that?
suppose. Mark is the more powerful helmet that Billy has, and Twain is the
M5, and then
weak
you
and more
have-
dated one.
Yeah. and
Oh,
then
right. Oh, okay,
Twain-
so you're calling out to both of them. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Um,
not Mark Twain. Goodness.
I was like, wait, which one did you name Mark Twain?
No. One was Mark, and the other was Twain.
Right. I remember now. Okay.
See, that's how that joke works.
Jokes. Works.
Yeah, joke.
All right.
Of course.
They
You
both sort
totally
of
intended that.
they both sort of remain dormant unless Billy or Nira address them.
Yes, of course. They don't much care for me. One of the two of you, could you check in?
Oh,
I imagine
yeah,
Billy-
yeah, sure. The helmet, do you have a map of...
Hello, Nira. How can I be of assistance?
Do you have a map of this place? I don't know where we actually are. Can you tell
Scanning.
where we are?
It just says scanning, and then there's a little loading icon.
It's
and then after a
taking
little
look
while,
around.
it is. After a little bit, it pops back on, and it says closest. What's the word I'm looking for? Closest results indicate that this might be Echo City.
Do you have a
Thank you.
map of this Echo City?
Creating map overlay now, and then your helmet, Nira, has this sort of heads-up display where sort of the record of what the buildings are and what they're supposed to look like sort of overlay on what you're actually seeing. And so, like, where there's big pieces of building missing, your heads-up display sort of shows a holographic representation of what it's supposed to be.
Ooh.
It gives you approximate directions to different locations. Unfortunately, a lot of the roads have been like filled up with rubble or buildings have collapsed on them, so the directions that the helmet's giving you aren't going to be 100% the right way to get there now, but it does give you a really good idea of how to get there, or at least the direction you're supposed to go.
So many lights.
What are you seeing? Yeah.
Actually, too many things. Helmet, could you kind of help me focus on the way to the closest library?
It chimes on again and says, calculating best known route. And all of the holographic images sort of disappear, and it creates sort of like what you'd see on a GPS, where it's like a single sort of lit line that goes in the direction you're supposed to go, like a quest indicator on a video game.
Dead Space, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Helmet knows the city is called Echo, and Helmet knows all the buildings.
Oh,
Other libraries. But there's. Oh yeah, right.
Right. We're in the right place.
There was too many things I didn't even notice. I know half of them. No, most of them. So
Right.
many.
This is overwhelming enough without a helmet adding more noise, I suppose.
Well,
It's true. Speaking of that, does Billy activate his?
no, not yet. But like Billy asked,
Anyway,
Well-
it knows the way to the library, Xavier.
okay, since you know where the library is, you want me to ask M5 about the church? That way, you can go with Xavier to the library.
No. We're not splitting up.
You
Oh,
sure you
yeah,
don't want to split the party?
Billy, it's scary enough as it is. Let's not split, okay?
Okay, then, well, if you're scared, I got an idea.
I'm not scared, but this is so strange, everything. Actually, I would say around, but there's nothing around. It's only
Well,
nothing.
you say strange. Conrad says scary. I say intriguing, and Billy says
Well, I have an idea to help with that, Nira. You still got that, the, miming thingy, the wackety
yeah.
thingy.
The axe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Billy grabs hold of. You mind?
Sure.
Grabs hold of it and pulls out a bit of rope and two of the metal rods, and like essentially like ties it so that the axe handles at the top part, while bits of the rope are within it, so that it, essentially what Nier will have is kind of like a little scythe. Essentially, can send out the axe a little way, and then just pull it right back. So to toss it and coming back.
Basically like a grappling hook?
Yeah, but with the axe at the where the poles are, it'd probably look closer to a scythe. That would be actually for Nier's size, essentially.
so.
Okay.
It'd be like one of those threshing scythes.
We're constructing a
it's-
bloodborne weapon.
Yeah, with a
Yeah.
chain on it.
Well, it's
Oh,
rope.
oh. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, rope inside the pole, so like it can send it out while Nier is holding on to one part of the pole. It
Yeah,
extends
it's a
out
bleach
of that,
weapon.
and then come back in there, so that way Nier can still attack but not have to get close. So
It's absolutely a bleach weapon.
Okay.
But Billy, that's not sort of not the problem here. I'm not
Well, that's-
scared.
That's like 2 or 3 extra feet between you and certain death, Nira. Which likely won't make much of a difference if it becomes a problem, but
I'm not afraid of things that are close to me. I'm scared of the things that are not around. There are no
Yes.
walls.
it is a more
Strange.
sort of cosmic horror that we're facing.
it's just another level.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm guessing if like we go higher, we end up going into the spacey thing.
Let's not
We
think
go
about
higher than
space.
that, we get
I don't want to actually do space right now.
I know.
Oh
so-
yeah,
but we're
I
just on
believe-
another level,
I
just like we
believe
were
you're
on a
at-
level before.
I believe Nira is experiencing what we call agoraphobia.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Nero. I'm not helping.
But
Agoraphobia?
at least I get now what you meant when you said places that aren't. There aren't any walls.
There's not
There
any.
aren't
yes.
any ceilings. But we are here, so it is.
Well,
There-
we know the way to a building of some importance. How about we go there and find somewhere that has walls and a
Oh.
roof?
Oh,
Yes, please.
great idea, Conrad. Great
Yeah.
idea.
Yes, let's get
Very
back
good
inside
idea.
as soon as we can.
Nira, you should go in Billy's backpack. Again.
No.
No.
I need to get used to this.
Yeah.
Place
We need
that
you to
is-
guide the way, but if you need to take a breather, if you need someone else to take the lead, you sing out, okay?
Yeah.
No. Let's just go. I will manage.
One
Would it
step at
help
a time.
if I hold your hand?
Oh, I know. I will sit in a familiar place. And I'm what's the word? And I'm climbing up Billy
Oh,
All right.
Excellent.
to sit, and you have a small Imperial Stormtrooper cat sitting on your shoulder.
like is it literally just resting on top of the helmet? Like,
No, on the
here.
shoulder.
on the left shoulder.
Like some
okay,
weird, bizarro pirate captain.
That's the way.
All right. Are you heading to? Are you heading to the library first? Okay.
Library,
Billy is heading where Nira had pointed to go.
Okay.
So Nira, where are we going?
The library. You wanted to go to the library.
Yay!
Yeah, we'll
Yay!
stick with the same looking thing here. Because I don't have a picture for the library. So you start heading down the city roads. You actually do pass a wall. The city does have sort of a like a sci-fi looking castle wall all the way around the outside of it. But you can tell from just a quick glance that the original intent for the wall was not defense so much as it was aesthetics, just to mark the border of the city. And there's no gate or anything like that. The road just goes right in, and there's nothing blocking your path. Once you do get inside, you can see that the city seems to have no color at all. Everything's sort of monochrome. The only color that you get is the little bit of silver, pink, and purple from the light diluted by, or diffused by the cloud cover overhead. But you're able to move forward.
Okay, I was wrong. This is a bit scary, actually.
Xavier, do you want me to hold your hand, or are you good just hovering?
Xavier grabs Billy's hand.
Remind me again, the sort of floating properties of this office chair that we've summoned up here, is that a concerted effort on one of our parts in keeping it afloat with magic?
It would be, yes. Xavier, if you're
It
wanting
would
to
be.
keep that thing
Xavier's
floating...
not on the office chair anymore.
Okay.
We've left that behind. Okay.
Xavier left that behind.
Okay, I was gonna say, if you want to keep doing that,
Single
you're gonna have to
tier.
keep making magic rolls. So, as you're making your way along, for the most part, at least for the first, I'd say, third of your trek through the city, the roads that you're going through are pretty clear. Is there anything that you want to particularly look for or be mindful of as you're moving through the city, or are you just solely focused on getting to where you're going?
Billy would be actually on the lookout for any animals and such, even if, like, say, for example, it was mutated, any form of kind of life as
Okay.
they're going on. But while that's probably happened, Billy probably would suggest, by chance, do you guys want me to sing a song as we walk?
Xavier would be highly on the lookout for everything.
Okay. Well, in that case, Billy and Xavier both make me, in your case, Billy, another natural stroll, and in Xavier, your first natural stroll.
Perhaps it might behoove us to try
Xavier
and be
would just
quiet.
be on the lookout for everything, not just nature.
Okay, then sight instead.
Yes, it would be sight, not nature, not naturals, which are the same, but the distinction being that Xavier would not be interested in nature because Xavier is not interested in nature at all.
True, and Billy would be very much focused on the animals and not anything else.
That's 9.
9, okay. All right, let's start with Billy. Billy, you notice that once again there's a distinct absence of life. You'd probably know enough about nature to know that it tends to take things back when humanity or Arcarians or Katarans sort of abandon an area. That nature has a way of sort of taking back whatever was built up. So with how old the city is, how much it's sort of degraded, by your knowledge, there should be, vines or weeds or some sort of plant life at the very least, sort of reclaiming the city.
If not like plant life, it would be at least animals and stuff scavenging it.
Yeah, but there's nothing. There's not even like skeletons or anything like that. The city obviously had a large population, but there is zero evidence of anyone having ever lived here aside from the buildings and then potentially what's inside the buildings. But there's no sign of life whatsoever in the city that you can see. Xavier,
Xavier's too busy hiding behind Billy to say anything.
You're looking around, and as you do, your own shadow sort of comes into view very quickly out of the corner of your eye, and you get really distracted with concern that it's a shadow creature, but it was just your own shadow, and so you didn't really notice anything else because you're kind of paranoid about that now.
The shadows.
That's. I think that one's just yours, Xavier.
Well, think about it like if you see a shadow, creature, you have a way to defeat them. We all do. We defeated one.
Yes. Yes,
Did
and
we?
we'll do it again.
Well,
I mean,
that's what Conrad said.
As far as you all know, yes.
We'll be fine. We're in this together.
Exactly.
Right.
The only thing that's weird is there's no animal life.
No, there's no. Does it look like there's it's sort of in keeping with Conrad's efforts to try and piece this together, in the same way that when we were in the mines, where it didn't look like there was any sign of a struggle or any clear indication that the people here knew what was happening. Are there boarded up windows? Are there barricades in the streets? Are there any signs of fighting?
No, there's not really much in the way of barricades or anything like that. There's some sort of vehicles here and there that have been crashed or sort of piled up in sort of a collision, but probably wouldn't be super familiar with what they are. They just look like some sort of machine. But they are pretty rusted and old and mangled.
Wait a minute. Oh.
But there's no like boarded up windows or anything like that you can see from here.
So whatever happened here, it looks like it happened fairly quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the mines. Something sort of swept through here and kind of took everything. As we're walking, maybe as he's saying this, like could they be passing like in my head when you were describing it, I just imagined like the gang walking past like some fashion boutique or something, and it's just like a dark room full of cobwebs and mannequins and like cracked glass and
Yeah, you could see something like that.
Just sort of seeing like the ghost of a city.
Yeah, with like maybe there's one of those like boxes for papers that's completely empty and looks like some full parts of networks of spiders are in there.
There could be, but there's that's a good point. There actually would not be any cobwebs.
Yeah, I realized as I said it. Yeah, no, not even that.
Yeah, because there's zero life at all, but there would be dust and knocked over displays, things like that. Signs that perhaps whoever was in the store, all the customers poured out of the building in a hurry. But yeah, there would be a lot of dust here and there, mostly like a silicon-based dust, like sand, basically.
This is
very fine sand.
All that's left.
M5?
Hello, Billy. How may I be of assistance?
by chance, do you know, I may be saying, do you know of Kira or the books Kira would be involved in?
I am unfamiliar with the author Kira.
No,
Please
not
rephrase.
the author, but the subject of Kira.
Kara, Billy.
Kara, sorry.
No,
I'm
it's all
sorry,
right.
M5, I said it wrong. Thank you, Conrad.
Ah, Kara, the goddess. What in particular would you like to know, Billy?
I'm not sure, but I would wondering kind of like if at least by chance do you have the work itself, like I don't know, like almost like you have a whole book, but you could go buy a line and read off of any of it.
You wish to search a specific book for keywords?
No, just would you be able to just read out?
Read out
Read out what, Billy?
specific book?
Well, yeah, like that's on the subject of Kira. Kira.
Kara,
Kara.
you've got it.
I have limited texts on the subject of the goddess Kara. Further text would be located in the Echo City Library. Seeing as we appear to be in what looks like the remains of Echo City, other text might be available via the Sentinel network, which I seem unable to connect to.
Well, I may be using the wrong word, because I know water is part of a network and it kind of pools in an area. Do you think like there's an area where your network would pull as we're going to the library?
If I understand correctly, you were referring to a river.
No, like of information, not of water.
An information river. This is a crude yet effective analogy for the Sentinel network.
That's how we do things here, Mark. Crude but effective.
I'm trying.
This is good information to know. Thank you. Such a place, if I understand your question correctly, might exist in the Sentinel headquarters of the city.
By chance, is it on the way to the library?
Calculating. It is on the opposite side of the city.
Ah. Perhaps another place to stop, Billy, if we find out our path heading that way.
Okay. So, M5, would you
Yes,
find
Billy.
would you find it advisable to go to the library first to see if like there's any information that the river information doesn't have, and then we go to where it pulls?
I regret to inform you that I am not programmed with tactical decision-making abilities. However, according to my database, when one does not know information, research or reconnaissance is typically the first response.
Ah, so the library. So we should keep heading to the library. Thank you.
Excellent.
You're welcome,
I'm
Billy.
sorry. I think something else to keep in mind, Billy, is these this network. These what were they called? Sentinels. The whatever group it is that you and Nira are sort of following in the footsteps of. They seemed to be diametrically opposed to these forces of shadows, kind of good and evil.
I don't believe in good and evil.
Yes, Xavier, of course. I have operating under the assumption that such an idea can exist.
Well, would it make more sense to say order and chaos then?
Sure, semantics, yin and yang, you know, all the rest. Zeros and ones. What I mean to say is, these creatures have shown some degree of intelligence, and I must imagine that the any system, some central hub that connects all of these pieces of technology that would allow the sentinels to stay in communication with each other, I imagine it would be heavily guarded, in a way that perhaps a library might not be. I feel
that's
as
why
though,
we're going to the library.
yes, I mean, I need to say that this river of information, for us to sort of unblock it, I imagine it would be a perilous endeavor.
Well,
Perhaps one that we would need to prepare for beforehand.
Okay. Well, let's be on the lookout for any tools. Maybe they might have like a whole place dedicated to it. Like, dang it, what was that barter guy? Like, what was the place he was always in? Like, maybe there's a
Like a
tool
market?
place. Yeah, maybe there's a tool market.
Ooh,
A tool market.
ooh,
Well,
like a place where you buy tools.
Yeah, maybe that. Let's just keep an eye out for that as we head to the library.
I was about to say like a Bunnings, but I think that's an Australian shop.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, that is.
It certainly sounded Australian before I said it. Yeah, well, let's keep our eyes peeled, and our heads down. Let's see if we can't get to this library without too much more trouble.
Okay. So with Nir on Billy's shoulder and holding on to Xavier's hand, I guess they move forward.
Okay. As you move forward, you do come across an area that is sort of blocked off. It looks like one of the buildings, about a 4 or 5 story building, has sort of collapsed and fallen over onto the road. So you've got a couple different options on how to circumnavigate this. One is you can try to climb through the remnants of the building to get to the other side. You can try to go around by going right, which would put you down a somewhat cliche-sounding dark and scary alley. But it is literally dark and shadowy and spooky. Or you can backtrack and take a left. As you're facing the building, it would be directly behind and to the left of you. To take a detour that would add a couple of blocks of length to your trip.
Can we try climbing over top the building?
That would
You
be
can.
I'm sure the two of you might be able to manage it.
You could certainly try.
I don't think I
Okay. Well, no. Like, if that's the plan, I think we could do this. 'Cause-
Let's keep in mind that Xavier chose to levitate a chair as opposed to walk 30 feet.
Yes.
Right.
Means,
I
hold
can
on, like
levit-
that's the part. That's because here's the thing: if I'm to throw a rope with an anchor high enough up, and
Alright.
then where I can't go any further, Xavier then extends it with the power thingies. So
Mhm.
then we could have a anchor point on the top. We use rope. We go as a team. Like you probably use your Mojo Jojo-ish things to grab onto things. Xavier does the light thingies to climb, and Nir and me do the muscle, and we can do it. We're a team. We can do it. We just gotta figure out the
I
parts.
would rather just levitate. That sounds overly complicated. I would rather not.
To be clear, I cannot climb a rope. That's not happening.
Yeah, me
Like,
neither.
I can hold on to you, and I can climb, or vice versa. You can hold on to me as I'm climbing.
I don't. I mean, you
The
can
fundamental
try.
flaw in this plan is that you're relying on me and Conrad to actually do things.
Listen, Callan also can't climb a rope. That's fine. I share that with this 14-year-old child.
Same.
This is sorry. The buildings before us, and our options are either to sort of go down a dark alley or sort of wind all the way around. If we climb onto this thing, what's the next step? Are you hoping there's some access point on the roof?
Yeah, and like maybe there's like a laddery thing we can climb down on the other side, so we don't have to make that effort. Or
There's a lot
maybe
of
it
levers
has
here.
a slide or a chute,
To
or
be
maybe there's a
clear,
tree.
this building is on its side. So if there is a ladder on the other side, it would most certainly be horizontal rather than vertical.
But this is the
Yes.
library, right?
Yeah, it's blocking the way to the library. Is this building on its side? So you can go through it by going through the window and basically navigating a building on its side that way. You could
That
try to
sounds
go
fun.
over it. Yeah. You could try to go over it, or you could go down the dark alley, or you could take a little bit more time by adding a couple of city blocks to your trip, but you would completely avoid this situation entirely.
You know,
Billy
Billy?
wants to either go through or over it. So that's
I'm
Uh,
with you, Billy.
Everything in this place is in the reverse. It's place that isn't. So, do you know, like a tunnel in the mine
Right.
collapses, it becomes dangerous. You know, in the mines.
Right.
So, imagine this tunnel only in the opposite.
yeah. See, that's why I thought we go over.
But
See,
you
we-
don't go into collapsing tunnels.
Exactly. That's why I'm thinking over it. So
No.
nothing.
No. This is like this tunnel. That is
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yes.
That is why we should not go over it.
You think go around, Nira?
Yeah, go around.
Yes.
a long
yes.
way.
I concur.
If this
I-
place has no walls, then it sort of looks like this when the tunnel collapses.
I fear the dangers
around.
that
We go
lurk.
around.
I fear that the dangers that lurk about might be more perilous to us than the sort of physical challenges presented here, and that
You
means a
mean
lot
the
coming
lack
from me.
of life around here? Yeah, totally dangerous.
That's kind of why I'm thinking. Well, we got a dark shadow here. That feels like that's a trap on its own.
Going inside.
And same with going inside. That's why, like, I thought over. So we're still making progress. We could probably get to the library without the worrying of the light going out. Because I don't think that light's going to be on all day.
What? It might
Billy's-
turn off.
Well, all our lights, like, they kind of change over. So the big light's got to go out, and something else got to come on. So we got
What
to
is-
use it as quickly as possible before
What are
it
you
goes
talking about?
out.
Billy, when the lights turn on and off back home, that's people doing that. You think someone's got a switch for this?
Of course. I'm probably using the wrong term, but
I mean, I can't prove that somebody doesn't, I suppose.
well, like we had
Well, okay,
the
if
day
we're, if
and
we're
night
worried about
cycle.
if we're worried about losing time, let's not get too existential too quick.
Yeah,
Let's put it to a vote. I feel like we should try and take the quickest route, if time is of the essence, and adding a bunch of time to our journey may be more perilous than it may seem.
exactly.
I don't think there's. I mean, it doesn't look scary, but as far as I've seen, nothing's attacked us yet.
Everything's scary,
Exactly,
yeah.
which means something will.
Well, I would vote that we go through and try and cut through as quick as we can.
Mm,
I would prefer not, but it is quicker. I still think we'd have a better option going over than through.
Well, hang on, Billy. Do you feel that the Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear. If this light does fade, it may be the case that this place isn't deserted always.
Exactly.
Oh wait. Oh.
But these streets are only empty now
Oh.
because of this light, and when someone turns the switch off,
Yes.
perhaps they won't be. In that case, going
No.
inside would be bad because it's dark inside.
Exactly.
Oh,
That's why I
no.
think we should go over.
I don't like this idea. I don't like this idea, not about going inside. I don't like this idea about this light getting turned off.
Yes, no, that would be
no,
bad.
I hate that. I hate that
Yeah,
so much.
yeah.
Let's
Okay,
go,
so we can
let's go over as fast as possible.
over as fast as we can.
Yay!
Okay.
Throw the rope, Billy.
Xavier levitates.
Gosh!
Or tries to.
Nira goes into climbing mode.
Okay.
Conrad watches and cheers them on.
We're gonna take turns. So, Billy, let's start with you. You're trying to climb over this building. Roll might to throw. You're throwing a rope, right?
I would think it would be a rope that's tied to an anchor point or a pitten.
I'll give you the contraption you've just made for me. It's a hook on a rope, so you don't have to make it again.
Oh, sweet. Then you can go up after it. I get it high, then you can climb up.
No, I'll just climb on my own, as usual.
Okay, then Conrad can climb up on it.
On the rope.
Well, no, you hold on to the rope. I pull. You just gotta hold on.
Ooh, that's still asking quite a bit, but I'll
All
do my
you are
damnedest.
having to do is hold on tightly to one thing while someone else does the work.
Yes,
I
with,
know,
with sort of my
It
muscles.
sounds hard.
Listen, I'll try. Time is of the essence. I can muster this much strength.
All right.
Okay.
Billy, you grab the sort of handmade grappling hook on the rope. You give it a toss, and it slaps into the side of the building, and sort of falls to the ground with a loud clatter.
Oh dear.
Okay. I can you keep trying.
Well, can I try and use magic on the grappling hook?
You can
in
certainly
the
try.
hopes, yeah. Maybe making it sharper, more sort of like supernaturally sharp, such that it will dig into the stone when it hits.
I really want to levitate.
Yeah, you could potentially do like a. You could make it like a plasma edge or something like that. That on the edge of the hook.
Yeah,
so
some hard light nonsense.
so it kind of digs into the rock.
Sweet.
Yeah, you can certainly try.
Yeah, to be clear, the just setting the states for the like dark point stuff. I assume that like you'll tell me before I make a roll if this is perilous enough that it's okay. Awesome.
I was actually just about to tell you this is on the line.
Okay,
so
but
you're not over it, but you're on the line. So anything more powerful than this, and you'll start taking points.
Excellent.
29. You do an excellent job of augmenting this grappling hook.
Excellent.
So Billy, go ahead and roll might again to chuck this thing up there.
I believe in you.
28. This time you managed to nearly succeed in getting it onto the top of the building. It sort of smacks into the wall, maybe a foot and a half, we'll say, from the little lip of the side of the building, which is now the top of the wall, essentially, that you're trying to get to. But because of what Conrad did, the blade sinks into the sort of concrete brick of the building wall, so it sticks there.
Excellent. You're going first, right, Billy? Is that the way of this?
Yeah. I'll go up the way. Then, and I'm guessing, Xavier, you're gonna be essentially hovering along the rope, right?
That's the mission.
Xavier at this point is probably on top of the roof. I know.
We need to check this.
Let's
Yeah,
find
I
out.
guess-
So this is saying now
rolled an
that
18. I rolled an 18 plus 11. That's 29.
29. You're able to get about halfway, but then you sort of are like, it's not going any higher.
Can I roll a d6? Can I add a
you-
d6 to that?
Absolutely can add a d6 to that.
And in the meantime, I will. roll
That's a
little less.
6. That's a 6. So 29 plus 6 is 35.
The 35, yes, you managed to get all the way up to the top.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Xavier.
So you turn around to talk to Xavier, and Xavier's like, "I'm up here."
Oh goodness!
Wow!
Good job.
where am I?
Good job.
Xavier, which type of magic did you use for that?
Both.
Both. Okay. Roll discipline for me.
Oh, this is going to end well. So that's a 6 plus 4 is 10.
Oh, fantastic.
Excellent.
You have succeeded in your task. What I'm kind of imagining, and feel free to change this description if you'd like, but this is what I'm imagining, is that you have like your dark energy and your light energy working like hot and cold in a weather system. It just makes this sort of light and dark cyclone that lifts you up off the ground over to where you need to go. But you start having this sort of like internal existential crisis about what you've just done, because on the one hand the light got you up there, but on the other hand the dark got you up there, but which one was more important? And so you're just a little bit distracted. It won't affect your stats or anything like that, but the inner conflict that I mentioned last week or week before last about having both sides is definitely happening. Oh, you've got an object placement. A book of...
So it's another Tuesday.
Yes. So a book of star maps. I started to read that as stamps, and I was like, wait, a book of stamps? What? A
I
book
read
of
it as stamps too.
Okay. Local to the area is titled The Messenger of Starlight. A Messenger of Starlight. It's a beautiful book, and the cover is embossed with silverfish from the border. Inside the front page, there's something written in scrawling script. It looks like there are some water stains around it. Without darkness, what is light? F. Aw.
Yes! Thank you. That is so Xavier. So wonderfully Xavier.
Yeah, we'll say that happens to be on top when you get up there, Xavier. Now, moving over to Nira, you said you were going to
Xavier
climb
will
up.
sit down and read it.
As the rest of us are in peril.
Yep. Nira, you said you're going to climb, so go ahead and make... I'll let you do a might or nimbleness, whichever one you'd prefer for this one.
I already did nimbleness 25.
Oh, I see it now. 25. Yeah, you get about halfway up. There is a window ledge that you could sort of slide onto if you wanted to take a rest. And if you do that, you'll be able to make the next check with advantage.
Okay.
Or you could just try to power on through and just roll as normal.
Taking it slowly sounds like a good idea, so I will take a rest.
Okay.
And take
as
a
you
look
do,
at what Conrad and Billy are doing down there.
Okay. Roll sight real quick.
Okay. 24.
Yeah, as you look around, you're able to see Billy, I presume, getting ready to try to climb the rope. Conrad's down there as well. And as you continue to look around, you can see inside the building, and it looks like this was some sort of apartment building. So this was obviously a family home inside the room that you're sitting on the window of. And there's some furniture sort of all piled up against one wall. But you can even see like what looks like a kitchen maybe off in the one corner of the room.
Okay,
some
so
bookshelves and things like that.
So this is what I feel. And I would rather say feel than think. I don't want to go inside because I actually believe the tunnel that's collapsing analogy. So I don't want to go inside. But actually, if I see something interesting, I won't be able to help myself. So, is there something that just I need to have from the room?
I will leave that judgment up to you, but there's definitely stuff in here that you've never seen before. The kitchen does not look like... It's close enough to the kitchen that you're used to that you can tell it's a kitchen, but all of the appliances that are sort of scattered around definitely look different than what you're used to.
Okay, so I will refrain from looting the room because I don't have answer how will I be able to pillage everything? So I won't go pillage one room until I know how to pillage everything.
That is fair. That is very fair. Go
I
ahead
need
and
to
make
think about
another. Go ahead and make another might or nimbleness roll to scramble up the rest of the way. 21?
21 will
Yeah.
wait? Okay.
Yeah, that's close enough. You've had a rest. So if you re-rolled, you'd probably get a little bit higher than that. So we'll call it good. You make it all the way up to the top, and you're able to see Xavier now, who's already up there.
And reading.
And reading.
Actually, this thing I will not question because Xavier reading is the most normal thing I see around me, with a huge advantage of normalcy over everything.
That is true. That's a very good point. In that case, Billy and Conrad, your compatriots here have made it all the way up to the top of the building, or the wall, however you want to look at it. What do you do now?
Now, we can always go the route of just, I get a rope out and I tie you to me as you're holding on.
How about you attempt to rope yourself, Billy, and we'll sort of see how that fares.
Okay, and then, like, you hold on to this pole here, and then I'll just bring the rope up.
Sure. Yes, I don't think I want to be adding my weight to yours as you're trying to climb. So let's get you safely up there, and then we'll work out what to do with me.
Okay.
Good luck.
Billy just kind of, like, rubs their hands before backing up a bit, and then starts a running thing, so can kind of have a little parkour before going up the rope, so that way has additional leverage as climbing.
Okay, so you're trying to give yourself sort of a running start. Let's do this then. Roll nimbleness first, and then based on that, we'll see how much of a benefit you get. Okay, 15. So let's say that'll give you a +2 to your might roll to climb up the rope. Which you need. So 15 for might.
Can I add a d6 to that?
Absolutely. Also, quick announcement. We had a patron gift from Gwen for an advantage. So now the cast has 1d4, 4d6, or 3d6, 2 switches, an advantage, and a borrowed success.
Okay, that's just...
Excellent.
So I think that makes it 16 total. So I think Billy is just kind of loosely holding on there, like barely holding on to the rope as they're climbing up.
Yeah, you made it a little ways up. You're like probably not even quite a quarter of the way up, but you made it to a spot where there's another window, much like Nira did. You're just further down, and you're able to sort of take a quick break there if you'd like to kind of get your strength back.
Yeah.
Can Xavier help pull Billy up?
You can certainly try.
Are you sure? Because I think just if Billy's allowed to rest, can probably do this. Like, you do have a star map to read and learn from.
Yeah. Xavier looks up from the star map. You need any help?
Nah, I'm good.
Goes back to reading.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, Billy, let's give it another shot. You can look in the window as well if you would like, but you don't have to.
Billy would.
Okay.
And does Billy see anything shiny?
Probably, but let's see what you roll for sight.
Okay. Because I needed to know if I could include this flaw.
He's net one.
14. I tell you what, I will use one of my d4s because I think this would be interesting and I want to find out what happens.
Oh,
if you do
no.
see something, so I'm going to use my d4 to bump it up to a 15. Because I'm feeling quote unquote nice like that. And we're going to say that, yes, you see very much the same thing that Nira saw. The floor plan of this sort of condo building is basically the same from room to room, or from apartment to apartment, rather. So you're looking at what looks like was probably a living room, kitchen, sort of open floor plan type room. But there's a bunch of bookshelves sort of half smashed against a wall. An overturned couch where there was probably once the bar for the kitchen. And you notice a sink and a bunch of shiny looking strange kitchen appliances all the way at the far end. Basically what's now the floor of the room.
Okay, then they would hear Billy go, "Ooh, shiny."
Billy,
Billy.
keep climbing, right? Right?
Okay,
I
now, if I
Go
remember
in there.
correctly, like, because they have said something that means I need to make a naturalist roll to avoid the flaw, correct? To see if,
Which,
like, they... Because if I remember correctly, how we had the flaw is Billy is distracted, but if everyone else can say something, I roll naturalist to see if, like, we'll pay more attention to them than the shininess, I believe. That's what we agreed on, right?
yes, I remember that now. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and make that
So-
roll.
Okay, so Billy does hear everyone. Oh, sorry, got distracted by shiny. Thank you, guys.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah, back to the book.
Okay, go ahead and roll again.
Might?
Yes. Might you make a might roll, please?
Mighty. Low hanging fruit.
22. You make it another half the way up. So, same deal, another window. We'll say it's the same window that Nero was at the first time.
So at this point, Billy probably is resting on there, just going. You sure, Conrad? You don't want to?
And I don't want you to try and loot the dark building. We just sort of make clear.
No.
what's-
You sure you don't want to be climbing up with me?
No, I don't want to put too much weight on the grappling hook, right?
Okay then.
I want to endanger both of us.
Okay.
You take all the rest you need. At this point, I'm just terrified, sort of seeing how much difficulty Billy is facing in climbing this thing. I'm dead. But let's wait and see how this plays out.
I mean, you saw Xavier, or you didn't see Xavier, but you know that Xavier got up there.
Just zipped up. Yeah.
Yeah. You could do the
Yeah.
same thing with the dark points.
And we'll see how we go. Yeah.
Do you want to try again there, Billy? You do have a borrowed success and an advantage that you could use. You also have 46 and a D4
no,
now.
I am not using a borrowed on that. Okay, then regular might roll.
Yeah, regular might roll. Nice.
Da-da-da-da.
Yes!
Hey. Ba.
So that's a
Yeah,
40,
you-
isn't it, right?
It is. It's a 40, so yeah, you make the last part of this trip up with flying colors. You make the whole thing look super easy for the last half of the trip.
Catching a second breath.
Yeah. So you
Second
make it all the way up
wind.
to the top.
So since this is a nat 20, like I'm guessing like right a bit where like the hook is, Billy just kind of like jumps and parkours that last little bit onto the roof.
I love it. Yeah, that works. All right, so we've got Billy, Nira, and Xavier on top of the building, and we've got poor little Conrad alone
Alone.
on the ground.
I suppose one arm in front of the other. Let's do our very darndest, and I'll
You hold it tight?
Maybe you should try making a loop.
Yeah, yes, I'll tie a little loop at the bottom to put my foot through.
I want to help if it's okay with you.
Okay. Yeah.
If you're wanting to help
I was
Conrad with the
asking
loop,
Conrad.
I will take all the help I can get. Yes.
Okay, like let's
So-
do this on a 3, 2, 1. I start grabbing the bull, and then you use the Mojo Jojo to help Conrad. Okay?
Yeah. So Xavier's going to use the dark to create a harness for Conrad and try and pull him up.
I can tie knots
'Cause-
myself without the aid of magic, but the
Yeah, like Billy probably at
No.
least taught him how to do
No,
something.
tries to pull Conrad up with
Oh,
the
yes.
power of dark.
Yeah, so like you're doing.
So Conrad
darkness.
doesn't have to pull as hard.
Okay, so if I get this correctly, when Billy is pulling, doing a might, you're gonna do magic,
Yeah.
correct?
okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do a few different things here. So starting with Conrad, roll naturals
dear.
to make sure that you can tie a knot properly.
natural.
22. Awesome. Was a very easy task. So you do superior knot tying and
With a
make a
bow.
very
Learn from the
sturdy.
best.
Yeah, make a very sturdy sort of
I'm
stirrup.
gonna use
To,
an advantage.
you have to call the advantage before you roll.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Otherwise, you're not rolling with advantage. You're just re-rolling.
yeah.
I see.
So unfortunately, you can't re-roll that. You can use a borrowed success or another d6.
I would
Or-
rather use a first success on this.
Okay. I was gonna say if it wasn't a 1, I'd say maybe just let it fail, but it's up to you.
Was it a 1?
No, I'd rather it not fail. 'Cause
Okay.
This is important.
All right, we're gonna use a borrowed success,
How exciting!
which is it's always exciting because you never know
So
what's gonna
just-
happen once you use it.
Does the sort of hubris of that fall back to Gwyn later, or that-
yes.
like
Yes.
is it her failure that will come back? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time
Righteous.
Gwen does a roll now, that is very large. D20 on the screen. Let's make that way
Ah.
smaller. And we're going to pop that over here to indicate that Gwen has a borrowed success in
Oh
play.
goodness.
Mm,
Um,
this ominous.
It's ominous. Should use like
So-
a couple skulls and
Yeah.
So, you auto succeed with flying colors. What you could potentially pull Conrad up by yourself right now if you wanted to.
Yes.
Um,
that's what Xavier will do.
I'll take it.
Perfect.
Oh, so then when Billy goes to try, Billy just ends up falling on his ass on the roof.
Pulling a loose rope as I just get.
Pretty much.
but with the power of darkness.
Yeah,
Okay.
all too familiar. I tumble onto the roof.
And since you used a borrowed success, there's no side effects to your magic use at all. You feel pretty good about yourself for now.
Except some vertigo on my part.
Ow!
Oh, hello. Oh, we didn't waste any time on that one. Good job, Billy. You're stronger than I thought.
Which side am I up at the moment so I can get back up? I've been
Oh.
knocked down. I think I can get back up. I just need to know which direction.
Up?
Okay.
I give my hand out. Yeah.
So what you're saying is Billy gets knocked down, but he gets up again.
He gets back up again.
Yeah. Ain't never gonna keep
Yes.
him down.
Yeah, it's a very Chubba Wubba feel.
That is what we're saying.
Fantastic.
Do we see an easy way to get down on the far side, back towards the library?
Unfortunately, no. It's the exact same situation on the opposite
dear.
side as it is here. Now, one sort of give you a suggestion here. One positive thing about being on this side is that there are windows here as well, and it would be a lot easier to, say, hook a grappling hook onto a window and sort of rappel down on the rope. A lot easier than trying to climb up, but you're still going to have to, make some skill checks and things like that to get down.
Okay. I got a
We can do
plan.
this.
So
Okay.
I will use Nira's hookity rope. I will from up here, then go down to a window. Then kind of like as Conrad and Xavier come downwards, Nira, you unhook it as you climb down to it, and we just do that 2 at a time, just going in there. I go down with the hook. Nira
this not-
unhooks it as climbing down, so we can go this slowly.
Window by window, okay.
Yeah.
Before we do any of that, I found this very interesting book. He looks up for the book.
Xavier, you think perhaps there is a time and a place for
Yeah,
our weekly book club?
yeah. Like I think when we're on the ground and don't have the risk of
He
death.
shows Nira the cover, which has a fish on it.
Oh dear.
Oh. So you found it here, not in your backpack.
No, it was on the roof and I got up here.
We are haunted.
No,
We are blessed.
All a matter of perspective.
What's this book about?
It's fascinating. It's star charts.
What's a star?
I think it's a light in the space.
Oh, what, like a planet? No, stop. We're running out of time.
Yeah. We need to be out of imminent death before we get into this.
Yes,
So,
let's go.
window by
Xavier
window?
puts it in his backpack.
Xavier,
I'll follow
oddly
you.
enough,
yeah, Xavier, we'll go over that when we get to the library. Fair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, window by window we go.
oddly enough, as
Oddly
you say,
enough.
hey, we're running out of time,
Oh, Raven.
the sky starts to get a little bit darker.
Awful.
The one little break where there is a gap in the clouds, you can see that light source beginning to I imagine from your perspective look like it's slowly crashing into the ground.
This is a nightmare beyond comparison. Let's go. Wait, no, Billy, actually, no. I love your idea. It seems very good. I don't think we have time for it. We should put the grappling hook on the roof and rappel down.
Yeah, okay. So you want to go at this Roger Dodger style?
I don't. Yeah, I think so. It sounds like your plan is very secure and very safe, and will take us 15 minutes, right?
Okay, then. And I would think one of you needs to hold on to me as I go down.
They call this. I don't know why they call it Australian rappelling. And it is the real way that you do this. Is you put the grappling hook down and you grab it and you plant your feet and you just
Yeah,
let go
you run
and grab
off
and let
as
go
you have the rope.
and grab. You don't leap off, Billy.
Yeah, I
No.
know, so that we have kind of like the anchor point up here, and we use gravity to our advantage
Yeah,
as we're
it's
running
just
down.
It's this. You just do that.
Yeah.
You just do that. Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
have to do that. We have to go. I
Yeah.
don't think we have time for anything better. You should do it first so that if any of us drop, there's a chance you catch us.
Okay,
Yes.
I want to hold on to Billy while he does that.
then let's do it. Billy just kind of like grabs Xavier's and runs.
Now, in particular for Billy, there is, it's a decent distance. You're gonna lose one of your ropes probably, if not two, plus whatever you use to anchor the rope with.
That's why, like, hoping like Nira will unhook it before climbing down with claws. That was why the plan was originally.
Okay.
We should be able to
okay,
retrieve it
I'll-
with magic.
I will go for it, yeah.
Yeah,
Or we
okay.
can
it's
link
like
here.
Nira can naturally do it, so Nira wouldn't need the rope or the hook, so she can just unhook it as it comes down to us.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Okay, well, Billy, then, I imagine you're probably going to take point on this. So roll naturalist to rig up the rope for rappelling. With a 32, let me get rid of this picture on the stream so everybody can see the rolls. There you go, 32. You do this masterfully. Masterfully. Wow, words are hard.
Masterfully.
You
I
do it
learned it
extremely
from my
well.
dad.
So it is very, very secure. It's not going anywhere. You feel like you can literally trust your life with this this anchoring. And you're going to go down first, right?
Holding on to Xavier before jumping off.
All right. Well then, holding on to Xavier is going to make this a little bit more difficult. So I'm going
Xavier
to...
will be holding on to Billy as Billy is holding on to him.
Yeah, I'm going to say let's do it this way. If you want to have Xavier like under your arm, holding on to Xavier that way, I'm going to make you do this with disadvantage. If you want to
I
have...
got an idea. Like Xavier is probably just holding on to like the backpack style onto the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
Billy is bigger than Xavier, so could just kind of like a baby pouch.
Billy
Yeah.
is almost twice Xavier's height.
Perfect. Okay. That was going to be my next suggestion, is if you do it that way, then Xavier just has to make a might roll, and you just have to make your might roll as well. Well, this is going to be nimbleness because you're rappelling, not climbing. So Billy, you make a nimbleness roll. Xavier, you make a might roll to hold on.
I'm going to use advantage. Like, we have 2 advantages, right?
One.
Okay, then I won't. Let's make sure Xavier uses...
I was going to suggest that I use the advantage.
Yes. I just thought we had 2.
You have 2 switches. But that's
Yeah.
So you do a 46 and a d4.
Okay, I'm going to do
use a d6.
That's my plan. Nimbleness and then a d6.
Okay. So
So
18.
that's an
So, Billy, you rappel, get about halfway down. No problems whatsoever. Xavier with a 20.
that's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, same here with the d6.
And you passed your borrowed success test there, so you don't use up this one. So you succeed in holding on. You both just have to do that one more time, and you'll be at the bottom.
I'm going to use a d6 as well.
Okay. Also did not use your success here, so...
Oh, that's even better. That's a 19 and a 2 and a 2. So 19 plus 4 is 23.
23.
Is there any d6 left?
You have 2
yeah,
d6
there's
left.
There's
I'm
one I
going to
can
do
choose
that. Oh, I don't need it, apparently, with a 24.
There you go. So you both make it down to the bottom just fine.
Yeah, we
You're-
both got pretty much the same both times.
Perfect.
Okay,
Done.
Mira, unhook. I'll wrap
Wow.
up.
What about Conrad?
What about Conrad?
Aren't you using the powers you got up with?
Those weren't my powers. That was Xavier.
What do you mean it wasn't your powers?
What do you mean? What do you mean? I can't climb.
It's just like Billy's doing that for a good bit.
Oh my goodness.
I can catch
the light
you.
fading. I'm going to try an Australian rappel. I've heard all about it. My uncle.
Okay. The rope's there. It's still here. I'm holding tight.
I'm an incredible athlete. Everything will be fine. Listen, I'm really good at falling, and this is basically that. I grab.
Right. You just
rope.
gotta miss the ground.
Sort of.
That sounds like a good idea.
I will catch you if you fall.
We both do it.
Nira, you don't
Oh goodness.
are you gonna be okay, Nira? Do you want to jump on my back or?
No. I'm actually worried about you, not myself.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
we all are.
Yeah,
Because Mira has the nails of awesomeness.
I kick off. the building.
Okay, roll nimbleness.
Alright, gang, this will be fine. Listen, there's a 20 on this dice I'm about to roll. See?
And
That's
18?
fine. That's fine.
Would you like to use a D4 or a D6?
I might use that with a D4. Wait, how does upgrading D4s work? Is that something that I can do?
Just spend 1,000.
Yeah, you can use guild coins to upgrade it.
Let me just. There we go.
Jamie actually got beat you to it.
Oh, okay. Goodness, I can't. Okay. Hang on. There is. Twitch just started yelling at me. Can I just roll? Is that how this works?
Yeah. Just roll. Also,
Roll a d6.
there is a can of spray-on bandaging with disinfectant and antibiotics. The brand is Foamy, and we'll say that ends up at Billy's feet as you land from the
That'll
rappelling.
be useful because I might land in need of medicine. 23.
23. Awesome. Yeah, same deal here. You make it halfway down.
Yeah, delightful.
There is also a window that you can look in if you want to, but you don't have to.
God no.
Okay.
No, I imagine this is a success for Conrad does not look graceful. So I imagine he is just sort of flailing and screaming as he sort of tumbles down and occasionally sort of skids down the building. He's gonna try the second half.
Okay.
Okay, and Billy is ready to catch Conrad.
Conrad, yeah. And so
Another
is Xavier.
nimbleness.
Nimbleness again, yeah.
This one's gonna be even higher, gang. Don't even stress it. Don't even stress it.
What do I need to do to catch Conrad?
Don't even stress it.
What do I need to catch you?
Don't
Yeah,
even
do I need
worry
to
about
roll?
it. Don't even worry about it.
So Conrad,
So, Raven.
you the good news is you didn't critically fail. You just failed on something that was critical that you succeed at. Which is a little bit better. So Conrad,
When you say it like that.
How do I save Conrad?
Yeah.
You're
Same question.
1 second. It's not.
I'm gonna use magic.
Conrad isn't approaching the ground yet. You are falling. You lost your grip on the rope.
Excellent.
However, you're also approaching a window that you could potentially try to sort of shoot yourself
Catch myself?
into. Yeah. It's kind of like you're falling off of a bunk bed as a little kid, and so if you tuck your legs just right, you could just land on the bottom bunk and be fine.
Oh, Boise.
So I'm gonna
Would
say
I have to roll something?
yeah. It's
Hey,
probably
yeah.
nimbleness, but if
Right.
you want to take a dark point, you could try to save yourself magically.
No, I will try nimbleness.
Okay.
Okay.
23. Nice.
23.
So at the last second, you manage to grab onto the rope again and swing yourself into this window, and you land on a very ancient couch, which is a nice cushiony landing, but it falls apart as you land on it. There's a loud clatter from inside the building.
I'm fine.
You don't look fine.
I'm fine. No, that was actually fairly cool what I just did. It was pretty cool. I think I've been skewered by a couple of springs here.
Okay, I'm climbing up. I'm gonna get you.
No, it's fine. I'm okay. I look around the room, the sort of dark living room that I've landed in. Am I alone in here?
It does appear so. It is dark. It's very, very spooky looking. There's, of course, weird shadows and whatnot, but they are just that. They're shadows, not shadow creatures.
Okay.
You've got sort of couch cushion stuffing that is sort of exploded out of the couch. and that's sort of floating everywhere. But aside from that, you see some broken wooden stools, like bar stools. There's a sink on the well, I guess technically it's sideways on the floor by your orientation here.
Oh God, right.
And sort of on the floor, which used to be the wall, are some scattered random kitchen appliances, which all look very sci-fi and high-tech, and you don't recognize exactly what they are. But they are shiny and interesting looking.
What a weird, terrifying place. I poke back out the window. Compatriots, hello. I live. I'm sure you all rejoice to hear that.
Billy starts climbing the rope up to.
No, off the rope. I think I can reach back out and sort of descend once more. How much further is the drop?
You're like 3/4 of the way down. So you still need to rappel. Like if you just jumped from this height, it would hurt.
No, of course.
But you don't have very far to go.
I was gonna say if this will aid me in the slightest. If there's any of that like old like cushioning or like fabrics. If I have enough to kind of just have like a sheet, kind of like a pillow or something to sort of wrap around and hold onto the rope. So instead of having to sort of nimbly do this, I can basically just hold onto it and slide down, and the rope burn will.
Oh, to prevent rope burn.
Yeah.
Oh,
That...
roll
I'm a
mechanical.
mechanic.
I was gonna say roll mechanical engineering. See if you can rig something up.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it. Do it.
Well.
Yeah.
And a humble 7 becomes a mighty 21.
Fantastic. Yeah, there's some rubber bits from various things in the living room and kitchen that you could put together
like,
with.
One of those like the little throws they put under office chairs, like to stop it from messing up the carpet.
Yeah.
Like a silicone. Yeah,
Ooh, or like an Afghan.
Yeah, just like a bunch of like coarse or sort of
Like
thick
a blanket.
materials. Yeah, anything I can scavenge around here.
I tell you what, you actually find. Have you ever seen those? They're made of silicone and they look like little like puppet mouths, but they're pot holders.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
I know. What you mean.
You find a couple of those that you could easily grab onto the rope with and and slide down that way without hurting yourself.
Excellent. I do just that.
So oven mitts. Yeah.
I don't know how this affects my if I still have to roll to use the rope.
I think we've put Conrad through enough.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're able to just slide down that way. That counts for your nimbleness roll.
Goodness. What an adventure. Nira, Godspeed and good luck.
Okay.
Blessings of the fish god be with you.
And in the meantime,
Remember, unhook the thing so we don't lose it.
Well, you're more important than the rope,
Save
though.
those for later.
I know, but like that's the first step. Uncook, and then.
in the meantime, while Conrad and first Billy and Xavier and then Conrad were climbing, I was having a conversation with the helmet. So to kind of spare time in a fabular way.
Hello, Nira. How can I be of assistance?
Do these gloves, because that was the idea Billy kind of gave me, do these gloves have some kind of, I don't know, things that can improve climbing abilities?
Where are my notes? What kind of gauntlets did you have?
It was part of the suit. Like it was a full body
Yeah.
suit that had gloves.
I just need to, because I want to stay consistent.
I believe it was our like the Carrion, wasn't it? Tech.
Mark III computer.
That was Katarin.
Mark II helmet with Mark III CPU. So yeah, your helmet, Nira goes, well, the Mark III gauntlets do come equipped with replicators, also known as fabricators, which could potentially craft some sort of climbing apparatus for you. However, since we are not connected to the Sentinel network, I am unable to fabricate those at this time.
I didn't understand anything of you just said.
Is that Nira or Econorlax?
No, Nira, of course, Nira.
Okay, just double checking. So the helmet goes. I will try to rephrase. The Mark III gauntlets contain technology which can create tools to use for climbing. However, in order to function properly, it requires a connection to the Sentinel network.
Oh, the river of information that Billy and Mark V were already talking about. Okay, I got it. But do we have something in the gloves now? For now?
There is nothing in the gauntlets currently which could function as a climbing tool.
Okay. So, and that was the conversation. And okay, I'm unhooking. I yell down and watch out for the falling thingies.
Billy moves 2 steps to the right so it doesn't fall right on his head.
Okay.
And I'm trying to unhook this whole contraption
Yeah, you're able to do so easily.
and throw it down.
Perfect. It clatters on the ground loudly. There's a little bit of an echo of metallic noise as it hits the asphalt underneath.
And I'm climbing down the wall.
All right. So for Nira, since you're using your claws, I'm going to actually have you roll might for this to climb down.
Okay. 17.
17?
Do you want me to use the 6?
It would help you to use the d6, yes.
Okay, I will use one. 21.
Okay. So you're able to get about halfway down. You can, same deal as before, you can sit on the windowsill for a second, or you can just keep trying.
Yeah, I'm yelling. I'll take a moment to gather some strength back.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
Conrad, Xavier, we need to be ready for an attack and be prepared.
Of course.
Always.
Nira, you can go ahead and roll again now with advantage.
Actually, I feel this character so much I can't refrain myself from rolling sight to check the insides of the room first.
Okay.
27.
27. When you glance in, it's the same. We're gonna say it's the same window that Conrad landed in. So there's cushion stuffing everywhere. And since Conrad probably opened some drawers, you see some shiny silverware and appliances on the floor by your perspective with the sideways orientation of the building.
I'm just picking one of the cushions that lie near the window.
Okay.
A pillow. Is there a pillow?
Yeah, we'll say there's like a throw pillow. So
Okay,
just a
throw pillow.
small little pillow.
And I'm tossing it out the window.
Okay.
Does it hit Billy on the head?
Oh.
If you would like it to, sure.
Ow! Good shot, Nira!
I'll be going down in a moment.
Okay, I'll move to the side so you can land on it.
No. That's not. I'm not going to be jumping down.
You do what is best. I trust you.
Be safe.
That was not why I decided to keep it.
All right, go ahead and roll might again.
Oh my god.
Ooh, a 10.
Okay.
But you get advantage because you took a rest. So roll again.
Okay. Right. That was what you said when climbing up.
18. Okay, that's a little bit better. So I'll just give you this. So you try to climb down, but you do slip a little bit as you're almost all the way down. So instead of climbing down, it's more sort of like sliding down by your claws. It makes a really awful sound like nails on a chalkboard. It's pretty loud and it echoes off of all the buildings.
Oh dear.
But you make it down safely with just, your fingers are probably a little bit tingly.
Well, it's good to have you
Ouch.
here.
Ouch. No,
Billy? Billy hands the over to Nier. Good, let's go!
Let's go.
And I
I
guess
just-
we all run.
Okay.
okay.
By the way, for Billy and Nira, have you turned your helmets onto active mode, or are you still doing passive only?
Passive
Billy is
only.
passive. Like
Active.
just the voice and talking is all Billy's concern.
Active might be handy.
Okay, just checking.
But I think that's not something Nira would think of.
No, certainly.
Because she was
Okay.
she cared only about conserving power, and she's not used to using the helmet actually, so I don't think that would be the idea she would have.
That makes sense.
Same.
Okay, same for Billy. All right then.
Let's get to the
Um,
library.
You start making your way to the library, and before you get
With
there,
a pillow, to make sure.
with your pillow, yes. So before you get to the library, though, we're gonna take a quick break, give everybody a chance to grab some water or a drink or snacks or whatever you need. So we'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll see if they make it to the library.
If
I mean, what happens when they make it to the library safe and sound with no
Thank
problems
you.
whatsoever?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Not so hard.
I respect the honesty with the first remark.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. Hey, we're back. Now to find out how everybody made it to the library.
Thank you.
So,
Giving us hope.
as you're quickly moving along,
Running.
running, as it were, the sun does get lower and lower and lower. Just out of curiosity, how do you all react as you see this giant pink-purple orb looking like it's about to crash into the ground off on the horizon?
Abject terror.
Must go faster. Must go
shiny.
faster.
Well, they promised me the library will have walls, so actually this is very scary and I want to have some walls.
Okay.
I think it's fascinating. I want to draw it, but at the same time, I don't want to get hit by it, so I'm running.
Must go faster. Must go faster. Faster.
Yeah, we're running using the directions Helmet is providing me.
Okay.
Yeah, Xavier's running as fast as he can, but also conflicted because he thinks it's shiny and pretty.
All right. Ooh, excuse me. Everybody give me a hearing check as you approach where the library is supposed to be.
No, that can't be good.
I do naturalist instead?
No, this is definitely hearing.
That is
excellent.
a dirty 20.
Also, dirty 20. Excellent work
Same
as
exact
always.
roll. Same
Mira?
exact roll.
Blind and a death cat.
Well
I got,
done.
You're
I got
focusing
14
on the
plus
running.
6. You got 16 plus 4.
Okay, so we're gonna start with Nira. You're running, and you think you hear the faint sound of some like groaning or something off in the distance behind you, but you're too focused on running over to the library to really pay attention. Billy with an 18, you kind of the same deal, but instead of just groaning, you're pretty sure that's what the shadow creature sounded like, but it's also behind you off in the distance a bit, so you're not sure if you really heard that or if maybe your hearing is just playing tricks on you. But Conrad and Xavier, you both definitely hear kind of off in the distance behind you, around where the building was that you were just at.
Faster, faster, faster!
Faster. Must go faster. Must go faster.
But you do make it to the library. It is a building. It does have a dome on the top of it, and some columns in the front. It's very fancy looking. It's 3 stories. However, all of the windows are busted out. The doors have sort of fallen off their hinges. There's a lot of dirt and dust that has blown into the entrance.
I would argue that it's a million stories.
That it's what?
What?
A million stories.
Because it's a library.
library.
Because.
Oh.
Oh. Hey!
That's all for this week, folks. Thanks. Thanks for stopping by.
As Billy just jumped into one of the open windows. Just.
Okay, so you jump into the window. Roll nimbleness to leap through a broken out window.
Oh, wrong thing, fortunately.
So
16.
That was very fortunate.
Yeah.
That was very fortunate. So with a 16, it's not graceful at all.
Billy was
you-
running.
Your pack like catches on the a part of the window as you leap through, and sort of have to fumble around for a bit on the other side, but you got through without hurting yourself.
Is it just kind of like as Billy goes through the window, like the backpack hits, he swirls around and then flaps down on the ground?
Kinda, yeah. But you don't hurt yourself in the process. If anything is hurt, it might be just your pride.
It's a good thing Billy has no pride.
Everybody else, how do you enter the building?
Just run.
Run through the doors.
Run in
Okay.
adventure.
Yeah,
Okay.
big run.
As you run in, obviously, like everything else in the city, the inside of this building is very dark. And you notice that all the shelves here, it looks more like a music store than a book storage place. So there are little cases, like CD cases, on the shelves. With titles written on the sides. You don't really notice any books in the front section of this floor. But you do notice a reception desk. And there's a couple of computers over there as well.
Ooh, these are computer books.
Okay.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, do you mean like audio, cassette tapes?
No, like this.
For the. Like I was unclear what Raven was describing as like the case thing, so that's why.
Yeah, it might look like that, but if you go to inspect them, you'll notice that they have little discs in them, which are memory, not audio.
A little GameCube.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Is this an audible brick and mortar store? Is that have we come to a sort of a place where books are not just read but listened to?
Yeah, they probably all do have like an audiobook option, but it's more like a Kindle library but physical.
Oh goodness.
Hello there.
They're text and audio.
How grim. Did Tenebrae look like Jeff
Hello there.
Bezos?
No,
The
but that's
CEO of Amazon.
that's a good idea.
Okay.
Oh!
What a grim villain.
Fits!
I like audiobooks and I like digital books.
But no,
Apparently
this is
not
the
everyone
library,
does.
so all of this is free to all the citizens of the city. So definitely not Jeff
Oh.
Bezos.
Oh no, how lovely. Oh god. Oh god.
Why?
Well, I'm not sure that we have any way of reading these. Oh, if I browse through some of the titles, are they written in a language that we can read? I guess we've seen signs and stuff, so it would all be like common or English or.
Yeah, some of the wording seems a little weird. The spelling's a little bit off from what you know. Yeah, kind of that same thing. It's like us today trying to read Shakespeare. We can understand it, but sometimes you have to kind of reread a sentence and go, wait, what did that say?
Excuse me.
Right. So there's some differences like that because of the way that language has evolved, but you're all able to understand everything here.
Right. Goodness. I suppose I will have a look around, see if I can find any. We've worked with like some of these weird feature devices. If I open one of the cases and see the discs, I'll look for something that looks like it has a receptacle for that. See if there's any devices around.
Yeah, it's you don't notice any on the counters, like the little tables that are set up around. But there are two computers there at the reception desk that would probably they'd probably work in, and you do have two computers on, like, integrated into armor sets.
Did we see any disc trays in those computers?
The chest pieces do have spots for different data to be input.
Oh, so we didn't get the chest piece for. Oh no, would that be part of the computer that we ripped out of the chest piece?
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, excellent. You know, a lot of people building new computers don't bother getting disk trays, but they're still useful.
It's true. You also have
PSA.
the like 2 or 3 tablet computers that were not working that you took from the mine
that's right.
shaft.
We took some of the. Yes,
I
excellent.
have
excellent.
a USB disk tray. I'm just saying.
Excellent.
I have a disk tray as well on my
Forward
laptop and my desktop.
You never know when you need to get a 2007 copy of Microsoft Office. You know, any port in a storm.
Yeah. I have a
USB floppy.
Oh.
USB floppy? How?
Yes.
How
you
powerful?
do have them. I need to get one now because there are things on floppy disks that I'd rather actually have.
That's wild. Well, I suppose is there any way that we could sort of make this place more fortified? If your theory works, Billy, if sort of night and day up here work the same way that they do back home, there should be a period of darkness, perhaps equal to a period of light. That maybe we can rest up here overnight.
Yeah, like Billy has kind of been distracted trying to either like defend kind of like the area, like, and I'm guessing at first just would try to take one of the abandoned doors and put it on the window, realize that's a dumb idea, then pulls out the hook sword and brings it right along the ground so it's scraping the ground, and to roughly kind of like scrape in the sign of Kara.
Kara.
Kara. Yeah.
Not Tom Brady.
Not
okay.
Tom Brady of Darkness.
So yeah, you're able to do so.
Maybe we should just find a room that in the library. I guess there will be many rooms in this big building.
Right.
Nira, Billy, can you you have light magic. Can we use that to seal this place off?
That's what Billy is trying to do.
Maybe we should just find a room that's already sealed, that has doors and no windows, maybe, or something like this, something inside.
Yeah, but use light magic to fortify that.
That's literally what Billy is doing.
Light magic has this quality that it makes light and will be visible from pretty afar.
I think they know we're here. We won't quiet and get.
Yeah, we're just trying to keep them out with the light.
Oh.
What I mean is, we could find a much smaller room, but the reason we're here is to try and find information. We may need this room, the records in it, these computers. If we can move some shelves in front of windows, in front of doors, if we can bar this place up.
There will be time later when it's not dark outside.
This is literally why Billy is putting the symbol of Kira into the ground.
Okay.
Talking about the rest of us as well. Magic is all good and well, but we could also just sort of put some stuff in front of the door.
No,
So
I don't think the shadows will be deterred by stuff.
Are you trying to put like do the holy symbol thing so that it's like a ward type deal?
Yes, like we are in the center of an entire. Like that's why Billy scraping the bottom of the floor around them, so this room will essentially be the floor will have the symbol.
Gotcha.
And making the library into a church. Xavier approves, and Xavier will help.
So I will give you all this. There are lots of places in the city, and you've read about lots of places that had Kara's symbol on it, and it didn't seem to stop the shadow creatures from getting in there.
I agree, but Billy would know that.
Okay.
No, Xavier would point that out to Billy, but also be helping him with the symbol.
Is this not Billy trying to use magic as part, like carve a symbol and then use magic and create a ward?
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question/point. If you do that and then use magic ability or magic engineering ability, you can create a barrier, but it has to be sustained magic for a barrier. So you're gonna have to periodically make rules to keep that up.
Xavier will also help with the barrier. Like, I wanna do the help out action basically for Billy.
Okay. Let's start with Billy. Billy, if that's still what you want to do, go ahead and roll magic engineering.
Okay. So 26.
Hey.
Great roll. You managed to block off. Are you trying to block off the entire building or just the floor that you're on?
The area we are on.
Okay.
Like in particular, Billy's focusing on making sure this room is, but if it can get all the floor, good too.
Okay. We'll do this
So-
then. There's a dome that opens up, centering on the symbol that you've carved into the floor, and it extends out a little bit past the building, so that it covers all the windows. And basically, it covers the entire floor that you're on, essentially. Now, Xavier, you wanted to try to help with the strength of it?
Yeah. If my bardic success did not come and bite me in the butt, it would be a 22. If.
Excellent.
It did not, so it is a 22.
Hey.
So you make it a little bit stronger. So Billy, you'll need to renew that in a little while, but it'll last longer because of Xavier's help. So you don't have to make a check quite as frequently. It is, however, light, and you are in a dark city. So there is a chance that it could attract attention, but I'm assuming you want to keep it as dim as possible while still being as effective as possible. So
I think we use because we are used to being underground, it wouldn't be like a bright light. It would be more of
It
more
would
like
be
the mushrooms.
very bright to us.
Almost like a herbaliscence. No, that's not the word. But
bioluminescent?
yes, that would be kind of like the flavor of it, because that's what they know as being a good
Yeah.
light.
Okay, perfect. So there is still a chance that it can attract attention, but it will not be like a search beacon saying, "Here we are, come get us." So fantastic.
You smell like fish.
I assume you're talking to your cat.
My cat, yes.
It looked like you're just talking to your keyboard from our perspective. Keyboard, why do you smell like fish?
I mean,
It's not that strange of a question.
it gets like that sometimes.
Suppose. Anyways, what's everybody else doing?
I have
Xavier
no
will
idea what
be
to do.
Pulling out that book and giving it, showing it to Nira and showing Nira,
Okay.
helping Nira study the book. Like if Nira's interested.
The book of star maps?
Yeah. Be
Okay.
like, this is a star map. These are stars. They're up in the sky.
Okay.
Uh,
Conrad,
would
what are
Nira
you
be
doing?
interested at all? Or would Xavier just be talking to himself?
Yeah, I will ask Xavier if they are above and we couldn't have seen them couldn't see them because of the clouds.
No, it's because it was day. There's a thing called the sun. It's a big star. It's close to the planet. It's close to the planet we're on. And when that's out, you can't see the other stars.
Oh, so when can you see the other stars?
When you can see the other stars, it's very dangerous because those shadows are out.
Maybe that's why the fish gods want to help us out. Maybe if the shadow's defeated, that means everyone could see the stars, so that people could explore the seas.
I suppose that would be one part of it. Yes.
Yeah.
It all.
So maybe.
And if you can explore the seas, you can get fish.
I mean, perhaps that's their ultimate goal in this. Their motivations remain to this day inscrutable. Are we do we still have some light left, Raven, or is it?
Very, very little. It's the sun is all but below the horizon now. It's actually kind of pretty. A lot of the
We're
clouds have cleared.
inside, though. We can't see that.
There's
You can
windows.
You can still see through the windows and the light barrier.
Yeah,
Um,
I would imagine it's kind of like we have like a almost though like a low filter where like after a certain point when you look past it, there isn't the filter anymore.
There's there's heaps of like tall buildings here in the city too, right? Like it's not all.
Yeah, but you can still
Nira
see
has-
some evidence of the sunset as it's going down.
Right. Yeah, it's like a New York sunset, sort of like
Okay.
you sort of see these like long shadows dragging across the streets of all the buildings, and
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty much like that.
So Nira has some idea. So you say we should block every opening with light, magic. Conrad, that's
then we
what you
can't-
said.
I mean,
stars.
I feel like all of your magic might be best suited to warding these things away. In that sense, yes. I have low hopes that we have any chance of truly hiding from this place. If I'm to be honest, I think they know we're here. So I would be more concerned about us putting up strong defenses than trying to remain quiet.
I think the best action is find the information. If we can find whatever we need here, we can leave when it's daylight again.
That's the other part too, is spending the night doing as much research, doing as much reading or listening as we can. We came up here to find more information. That's what we're here for.
It may be a good idea for you guys to go in shifts of someone's sleep, someone's researching.
And someone is maintaining the spell.
That'll be me.
Well, you have to sleep as well, Billy.
Yeah, Nira
When we
can-
get to the place where the information pulls, I will sleep.
You're going to stay up the whole night.
If that's what I need to protect you guys, I'm doing it.
No.
The three of
don't
you have
need
magic
to.
of the light. You can.
That's
you can
why I
take
said
turns.
shifts.
Okay. I can do my very darndest. Oh God, what is that thing?
Well, what?
I was gonna say, now there is a glowing fish about a foot long and made of starlight that keeps you all company for the night. It swims through the air and is careful to keep just out of reach. Thank you to Alex, who used guild coins to redeem a magic item for the party.
I have spent my entire life doing my best to understand the inner workings of the world around me. And these last few days have been so baffling beyond compare. Hi, fish. Hello, fishy.
Yes.
Hello, fishy.
I have no other tools left at my disposal. I will never understand you or the force that governs you. Hi, fishy. Hello.
As you say hi to the fish, it just sort of like it looks like it does a flip in the air, but it like a fish would just swim in a loop, in the water, as a
Bloop.
seems to do that as sort of a hello greeting.
It's quite pretty.
Yeah,
Yes.
it seems
Xavier will try and
friendly.
draw it.
okay. Roll performance.
Performance. Cool.
Draw me like one of your fish girls.
Oh wow! Yes. So that's
Did you net 20 to draw the fish girl like French?
no, but I got pretty close. It was a 17
That's
plus
admirable.
plus 5 is 22.
So it's more of a Swedish
nice.
fish.
Oh no, I want Swedish fish. Those are delicious.
Slightly off the mark.
Yeah. By the way, this is something that I'm sure probably only cat and maybe dog owners will appreciate. I just had somehow cat hair and my glasses are like magnets to each other.
Oh goodness.
And so I just had to pull cat hair like out of the part of my glasses that rest on my nose. I'm like, why does it feel like I have cat hair all over my face? Oh, that's
Oh,
why.
I've done that just an hour ago
Yeah.
during the game.
As the glowing fish is moving around, and as Billy is trying to maintain the. I'm thinking it's just like moving a sword, or to maintain it. Can Billy just kind of like follow
exerting.
along?
Oh, sure.
Like essentially, like it's almost as if like the maintaining is the opposite of the fish, almost as though the two are in a dance.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Go ahead and make another magic engineering roll. This will be for a couple hours later, but as you're doing that, yeah. So you follow along with the fish, and it seems to help make it easier to maintain. So you maintain the spell very well. Xavier, you. Actually, hold on. Yes, you draw the fish very well. Now, who's doing research, and what are you trying to research?
I suppose I was going to spearhead that, while seeing as I'm the only one without any light magic, unable to sort of help in these initial fortifications. So I could take the first shift of hunting things down.
Okay. If you would like to.
I will say if this I never I don't know how much sort of me sweet talking or adding context helps my role, but the Conrad would be particularly interested in everything that the gang has seen so far has indicated that this happened quickly.
Yes.
So I don't imagine that anyone would have had time to publish an audiobook about this these goings on. But this is, like a fairly big building and place of learning. So Conrad would be particularly interested in the written word, like if anyone left any journals or if there's any graffiti in like bathrooms or anything like quicker, anything more recent than these ancient texts.
Would the fact that kind of like we all understand that Kara and Tombre are in a duel, and there's something related to that. Would that help Conrad at all?
And failing that, I would just be looking for religious texts, any sort of history about the faith of this world before the fall.
Okay. Let's do this. Let me have you roll a sight roll first, Conrad.
Okay.
So, sorry for interrupting. Can we sort of establish the plan for the night? Because I, as a player, got a little bit lost. What is the plan? Because there was too many propositions.
So we're trying to rest, and among sleeping, we're trying to have somebody researching and somebody with light magic. So one of the three of you fortifying the place at all times. So you've got two people.
There won't
sleeping.
be much sleeping in this night, actually.
I think everyone should be able to get a full rest if we rotate around, but because we won't be sleeping for 8 hours. We'll be in here until the light comes out, which might be a while longer. But we'll just sort of keep going until everyone's rested, and then move on. But yeah, two people awake at all times from the sounds of it. One person doing magic and one person doing research, and then two people resting.
So if two people are to rest and two people are to not rest, then we actually only have a night of sleep.
Right, but if we are here for twice as long than we might normally be rested at camp, then everyone can get a full rest, basically.
So maybe we should just leave the research for the day. If we can camp here after the night too.
Maybe. I suppose Conrad would be seeing how fruitful it is in his first few hours, and then that might change the rest of the plan if it seems like he can't find much. But if he finds a bunch, then we'll see how we go.
Okay.
I'll try that side roll.
So yeah, continue, please.
21.
21.
So as you're looking around for something to run these discs that you see everywhere, you do find that there is some sort of like self-sustaining sort of power cell attached to the building, because there's a little switch behind the desk that allows you to turn on the we'll say it is the library assistance program that everybody calls Dewey.
Dewey. Hello. How fortuitous.
So if you turn it on, there is a little AI holo projection that appears in front of you and says, "Welcome to Echo City Library."
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for your hospitality. It's this little nameplate here says you are Dewey. Is that you?
Correct. I am Dewey, your library assistance program.
Excellent. The last time we met folks of your kin, we had to go through the laborious effort of naming them. So I'm glad you've come prepared with that. It is a pleasure to meet you, Dewey. My name is Conrad Bentley, and these are my associates. We're
Hello, Conrad
on the
Bentley.
run from creatures of darkness, as I'm sure you know. Or I don't know if you can store new information. You might not know that.
Am I correct in assuming you're looking for horror/fiction?
No, we've got plenty of that. Thank you. I suppose you wouldn't really have any records of personal writings and journals and such. So, in my dealings with you,
Autobiographies. That is on floor 2.
that's interesting. I do like a good sort of rags to riches story. But no. I think I'm much more interested in religious texts, I suppose, if you could find me those. To do with Kara, and perhaps her relationship with her brother and the cosmos. This is quite heavy.
There are many subjects and volumes written on the goddess Kara, Kara the planet, Kara city, Kara the food, and Kara the airplane.
Kara the those last two. What? What's an airplane?
An airplane is a transportation vehicle that moves through the air by using thrust and uplift on things called wings.
I do not have time for that. I would love to learn more about airplanes later. That sounds actually really cool. In the interim,
what's Kara the food? Nira
What's
is
Kara the
interrupting.
food? Yeah, we have to know. Yeah.
Nira is interrupting.
Thank you, Nira.
Conrad.
I wanted to ask, but
What's Kara the food?
Sorry, that cracked me up. So Dewey processes your request and says, Kara the food, there are a number of recipe books found in section 5 on Kara the food. Kara is a type of human dessert made of
oh, it's made of people.
puffed pastry, honey, and often various other regional ingredients.
Goodness, well, I don't know what honey is, but it sounds lovely. Perhaps for later. Okay, if you could gesture me to some of these religious texts. You say the word Tenebrae mean anything to you?
Tenebrae, searching. There are some references to a Tenebrae in religious texts found in physical books located in the basement.
Okay. Oh. Interesting. Food for thought. He doesn't have an airplane or any food named after him?
Searching. No entries found.
Excellent. That guy's a jerk anyway. He'd hate that. I love it. I'll have to make sure I rub it in his nose next time we see him. Okay.
Hopefully there's not any. Oh wait, I'm sleeping, aren't I?
Oh no, we're still.
No,
we're just
I
getting
think
started.
it's still evening.
Yeah.
Xavier, your pursuit of knowledge would break you out of any slumber. Well, excellent, Dewey. You've been such a great help already. I understand that this is not the generally accepted function of a library, but we are sort of using this as a base of operations for the next evening at the very least. I hope that isn't presumptuous.
Library hours end at 11 p.m. at night. If you're still here after 11, you may be asked to leave.
We would gladly listen to you ask us to leave, Dewey, but politely we would have to refuse. I'm sorry. When's the last time you spoke to somebody?
Unknown.
What
that's
is the
sad.
current state of your memory storage?
The Dewey Library Assistance Program currently contains, we're just going to say, some ungodly amount of storage space. Like, whatever.
I don't even know what a terajig is. That's wild.
Yeah. Like 1 million terabytes times 1 million terabytes, and like that's the unit of measure, and then it's got like a gajillion of those.
It's got like the scientific notation.
So like 50,000 petabytes.
Like
Something
4
like
something to the negative 10.
Yeah, that'd be right about 50,000 petabytes. Because a petabyte is 1,000 terabytes.
Okay.
Mother found something she called a floppy drive that had 128 kilo somethings. Is that a lot? Do you have more than that?
The Library Assistance Program contains approximately we'll say it's like 9,900,900,000,000,000 999,000,000 et cetera, 0.99999999999.
Oh, Dewey, it's all right. Thank you for
9
trying.
times that data.
So a lot, you would say. Cool. Well, got our work cut out for us. Let's get to work. Or to sleep.
So you're still functioning perfectly, right?
Dewey's doing just fine.
I was asking Dewey, not you.
Well,
a maintenance diagnostic has not been run on the Dewey Library Assistance Program in 999999999.
It's fine.
Yes. So run maintenance program.
Sure, that seems wise. Also, Dewey, the next time that you have to say a very, very large number, if it feels like it may hurt you to do so, just say like just a big one. Lots.
So it doesn't respond, unfortunately, to Conrad's suggestion, but to Xavier it does go, I'm sorry, only approved library personnel may run the diagnostic program.
Xavier has had such a propensity for books in all the years that I've known them. I assure you, if someone is a verified librarian, it would be he. How does one apply?
You're welcome to enter your credentials into the library computer. And it sort of motions to it's like a card reader, like more like like there's those key cards where you just hold a card up to it and it just reads it.
Yeah.
Something like that behind the desk.
Little barcode scanner, yeah.
Billy, I'm guessing, like, says from a big distance away, try using Twain. Maybe can help.
Oh, right, the helmet, I suppose. Do you, Dewey, do you know what a sentinel is?
Yes, sentinels are the law enforcement of Echo City.
Excellent. We, would a sentinel be able to override the librarian, login,
Requirement.
or whatever it is? Yes.
Potentially, yes. Sentinels do possess much higher authorizations than the average citizen. And typically have full access to anything in the city.
For good or ill, yes. Well, we do have a sentinel with us here. Nira, are you rested yet? Or are you still up and about?
No, I assume as a player, we are still in the evening stage.
Yeah, we haven't sort of packed down yet. We're getting the lay of the land.
As far as timing goes, you've maybe set up your pillow, but you're not asleep yet.
No, since food was mentioned, I'm hanging around.
Nira, could you step up and see if you're sort of get up. Dewey, Nira, this is Dewey.
So I'm a sentinel.
Hello, Sentinel Nira.
I'm a sentinel candidate. Will you run the diagnostic program for me? Please?
Please scan your credentials. And it motions to the little scanner.
Might hit a roadblock on that one.
Helmet, what is she asking? What is this computer asking me about?
Hello, Nira. It would appear that this primitive AI would like you to scan your gauntlet into that scanner.
Gauntlet.
All right.
Oh, okay. Gauntlet.
Twain, listen.
So you put the gauntlet up, it scans it, and it goes, "Welcome, Sentinel Nira. Full access granted."
Whoa! I thought we were sort of playing it up a little bit. Nero, look at you go.
now that the access has been granted, I actually wonder what were you asking for? It for?
Well, we were just wanting to see a grant Dewey permission for them to sort of do a diagnostics of themselves in the building.
Yeah.
I have no idea what does it mean. What does it mean? So do we want it?
Yeah, we do. We just want to make sure that
Yes.
Dewey is all right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dewey, could
Okay.
you run those diagnostics?
Yes,
now? Or
Dewey,
maybe Nira has to ask.
Yes, Dewey. Make sure you are all right before we kind of want you to do a lot of work and start with making sure you are all right. Yes, that's the idea.
Excellent.
Very well. Dewey Library Assistance Program now running self-diagnostic. Estimated wait time, 1.555555 hours.
Oh, okay. Well, you really had me in the first half there, Dewey. Thank you.
So
Okay.
Sort of blinks out, and instead of it being the little
5,555 hours. That's a long time, actually.
No, 1.555555.
Oh, I kind of
Yeah.
missed the 1 point thing.
No, it's all right.
it's like it's like an hour and 33 minutes or something like that. So instead of the normal little hollow projection of I don't know, but it's probably like a
I was imagining
pixel art.
the grandpa from Up.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Perfect. Instead of that, it just shows like the three little dots, like when you're texting and somebody is replying back to you. It just shows the little, like the dots bouncing up and down.
Contact anxiety. A lot of people are currently typing.
Yep.
Gosh.
Also,
Yeah.
Mira, if you look around on the
To the surprise of none.
on the desk, there is a giant plate of fish.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Well,
It just kind of makes me how to say it. I'm even stronger. I'm even more convinced of the decisions I have made. So yeah,
Great.
I need to do stuff.
All right.
I will actually share the food. So we have a fish guardian and fish supper. So I guess the Radiant Fish Giver wants us to stay here for the night.
awesome.
Um,
Xavier will cut some up and make sushi.
all right.
Does you throw Eddie at Billy so he can catch in his mouth as he's doing the movements to maintain the spell?
Xavier will walk up
Come on,
to Billy and
feeds him.
put one in his mouth.
Fantastic. Okay. Do any of you want to do anything else while Dewey's running his little diagnostic?
Are we going to sleep before the diagnostic finishes?
up
Those
to
that
you.
are starting to rest?
Yeah.
Because I was probably going to stay up and do some more research. This first sort of shift.
Okay. let's do
Xavier
this then.
would do research if Xavier believed that we were safe.
I have plans for
However-
the middle of the night, not for
However,
the evening.
Xavier does
I-
not believe that we are safe, and Xavier believes that we have all day tomorrow to do research.
Conrad is looking for a moment where he can slip away unnoticed. Either when
is-
people,
So, me too.
yeah, when
Is
when
a
everyone's
puddle of
asleep.
anxiety in the middle of the barrier.
Okay.
Like, you guys know, like, it'd be easy because Billy is just walking in a circle with a fish.
Yeah,
And
I love-
Xavier's
I
a
love-
puddle of anxiety.
yeah. So,
Okay,
I love the
we're-
idea of
Stress sleeping.
Conrad and
we're-
Nira just accidentally sneaking out together.
We're gonna do this then. All right. It looks like Xavier is either asleep or at least incapacitated. And Nira, I'm gonna assume you pretend to be asleep, or you just sleep lightly. What are you doing to wait for the opportune time to sneak away?
Me or Nira?
Nira.
Yeah.
Well, I would just. I kind of wanted. That's why I was asking about our plans for the night. Do we have some pre-established shifts order or something like that? But
It sounds
since
like
Billy wants, if Billy wants to be up all the night,
Xavier will take second shift, and Nero
that's
will
kind
take
of
third.
makes the shifts moot. If Billy wants to stay up.
Yeah, well, the thing is that you can escape because Billy is just going in a circle. So, you know, like, that Billy's not going to pay attention. So, the only person you got to sneak by is Xavier.
Who is stress sleeping in the center.
Stress sleep, my favorite kind. Yeah.
So I will actually be entirely careless about it, and I will just lay myself to sleep, knowing I will wake in the middle of the night anyway, because everybody wakes from time to time,
okay.
and
Then
that's
in
it.
that okay. Then in that case, Conrad, it looks like everybody's asleep except for Billy, who's not paying attention to you.
Okay. I will very gingerly slip away and try and see if I can find my way to wherever that basement is.
Okay. Do a blend in roll.
Oh, excellent. My favorite. If it helps me at all, I'll look for any because I used to do this for a living. The little like fire evacuation signs on the wall. If like they're a good way to find like floor plans of a building.
They're
blend in.
Yeah, there probably is. It's probably like without any written words at all. So it's just symbols that points to. I mean, you're on the main floor with the exits, but you can see towards the back of this room there's a stairwell.
Excellent. I got a big 11.
So you like to think that you're being quiet and sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
But your shoes are kind of squeaking on the floor as you walk each step.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really notices because they're asleep and not paying attention to you. They just presume you're walking around, but you think that you have silently moved away.
Masterfully done,
Yeah.
Conrad, as always. Yes, I will skedaddle my way around and see if I can find this basement. Yeah, I do that.
Okay. As you go down to the basement, there's a door at the end of the stairwell that goes into the basement room, presumably where the physical books are. There's a little tiny window on the door. You can look in and it's very, very dark, almost pitch black.
Mm-hmm.
But you can kind of make out the outlines of some shelves. And as you kind of squint to look, not sure, but you think you saw something move in there.
Oh dear. Okay. All right. Is the door locked?
It's not locked. It's like one of those where it's got a bar across the middle, and you just push the bar in a little bit, and that opens it up. Like like you see it at a lot of like government buildings or schools or libraries here.
Yeah, high occupancy.
Yeah.
Okay. I look back behind me. Let's try and quietly squeak it open.
Okay. Evens or odds?
Which one's good?
Whichever one you pick will be the good one. The other one will be the bad one.
Okay, tell me what you roll, and I'll let you know. Let's say odds.
Odds, okay. It is odds. So the odds were in your
That's
favor.
why I said it.
So as luck would have it, you push the door open gently, and amazingly the hinges on this thing have been well oiled, and the oil has not worn off. And so you're able to open the door quietly and step inside. I presume you gently...
Thank you, Doobie.
You gently close the door back. It's one of those like self-closing doors.
Yeah, I suppose it's gonna do it anyway. Is it does it seem like the door is soundproof?
It's not soundproof, but it would probably, block some of the sound. It's a thick door.
If it's closing on its own, I guess I'll let it close.
Okay.
This is Callan asking. Does Nira know that I'm doing this?
I really said I really said I'm going for careless option, so I'm just taking I just went to sleep with the thought I will wake at some point in the night.
Okay.
No one knows you're in the
Play
basement.
cat nap.
All right. Excellent.
Yeah, nobody knows that you're down here by yourself in the dark with something that moved.
Good. Good. I'll just say hello. I don't mean any harm. Is somebody in here?
So, in the dark basement, alone, where nobody knows you are, you call out to the darkness, is someone there?
Yeah. I mean, whatever's in here knows I've come in.
If that isn't the way everything goes wrong in every horror movie ever.
I'm a child.
There's no response. You don't hear anything call back to you or anything like that, but you do feel like the air moving, like as if somebody just ran behind you. You don't hear footsteps or anything like that, but you feel the rush of air being displaced.
Yep. Sort of shaking a little. Do I see like this is a sort of basement, like a cellar? There's sort of rows of books down here. I was told that.
It's nearly pitch black dark though, so it's like you can make out sort of the outlines of some of the shelves.
Does like would it doesn't have to be as sort of explicit as it is in D&D, but would Conrad's affinity for the dark give him some like better vision in these sort of spots?
Conrad's human, right?
He's human.
Okay.
With that sort of dark passenger.
Right. I think you're being used to being in dark spaces and things like that would be the reason why you can actually see the outlines of the shelves, and you can kind of see your hand in front of your face. You could potentially use magic to try to make it more visible.
I will.
That would be a simple magic use.
I will use magic to conjure some of that sort of purple, those sort of little motes of like almost fungal light that he used to light the way in the tunnel before.
Okay.
And as I do it, call out. I may share the same mark as you.
Okay.
Just into
Go
the
ahead
dark.
and roll magic engineering.
A million.
5. A million. So with a 25, yeah, you succeed, and there's now a dull, sort of dim, bioluminescent purple glow. So it's about like trying to see around in the room with a glow stick.
Right.
You can see decently well in your little sort of circle of light, but it doesn't travel very far. And outside of that is difficult to see. But you do see, as you do that, sort of a shadowy figure rush up just inside your orb of light and stare at you. And this one looks a little bit different. It doesn't have that sort of dark robe. There's no articles of clothing or anything like that. It's just a ball of gas, basically. But it's still that dark, inky black, sort of smoky looking material. And it's got a couple of eyes, but they seem more dull, less intelligent.
A couple of Raven, like 2, the number?
Yeah,
like 2. Okay, all right.
It could have
it's
more.
It's got a number of eyes. It's such a disconcerting. It's got some eyes.
It's got 2 eyes.
Do I get the impression that the from what I understood, those smoke monsters were sort of like the progression as you are sort of corrupted by this darkness. So you sort of go from a human. If I were to put this on a scale, would I imagine that the smoke monsters we've fought are somewhere between human and this little like ghastly looking thing?
Conrad might make that assumption, yes.
Okay. And it looks less intelligent than.
Yeah, out of character knowledge, I will say that assumption is not necessarily correct, or it might be correct, but for Conrad, that would be a good. I could see that assumption for sure.
Yeah, I think that's the leap you would make. Yeah.
So the eyes look more dull and less intelligent, and it just sort of stares at you for a second, almost as if it's looking through you rather than at you, and then it just moves on.
Okay. Do I I've shared some connection with these forces before, and now that I've got that sort of cold sliver in my chest, do I feel like I am in any danger in this room?
No.
With this thing? Right.
It's basically ignored you. Either it doesn't see you or doesn't consider you a threat, or it sees you as a friendly.
Yeah, not surprised there. I sort of give it a nod as it moves on and just sort of say to myself, I'm sorry for what happened to you. And I'll spend, as long as I think I can get away with it, a few hours down here, finding as much information about this Tenebrae nerd as I can. And perhaps sequestering some books or resources or whatever is down here, such that I can do more research as we go.
Okay.
But yeah,
we'll come back to that then.
Excellent. That's really cool.
Nira, roughly around the time that Conrad is opening the basement door, you wake up.
Sorry for a moment.
Oh, no problem.
Actually, it was the moment my nose decided it wants to sneeze.
Yeah.
Of course. Sorry.
I've had a couple tactical mutes going on. That's the way to do it.
So yeah, I do not take notice of anything here. I'm just...
I guess you would notice I'm missing, right?
Ooh, I would notice, but I would not past acknowledging it. Actually, yeah, whatever. So the plan is: there's Billy guarding the door. There's guardian fish protecting everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm free to go about my business, which looks like this. We've received the map of the stars. The stars are in the night, which is like now.
Correct.
There are shadows in the streets. That's why we are hiding in the building.
Also correct.
But clearly, Radiant Fish Giver has some plan about this place, because there's fish, there's this edible fish, there's guardian fish, there's a star map. It tells me I have to take a look at the stars. I will try to search away to the roof.
You could just look out the window.
No, that is not the plan.
Okay.
Okay. You do see the stairwell, same stairwell that Conrad went down. It has stairs going up as well. You can take them all the way up to the top.
Sure.
It's was it 3 floors, I think? So it's a decent little distance all the way up to the top. And as you get to the 3rd floor, there's sort of a door blocking off the entrance to the next set of stairs that would go all the way up, and there is a little scanner.
Yes, that's the last piece of the puzzle I had. Learning that the glove allows me to open doors in the library.
Okay, so pop your gauntlet against it, it scans it, and gives you access. So you're able to go up to the roof.
Oh, I've not said it explicitly, but I take the book with me.
Okay, I kind of figured. Okay, so you make it to the roof of the building.
Are you outside the circle, though?
Absolutely.
Yes, but I assumed the roof will be safe because the shadows were kind of moving on the surfaces. They were not floating in the air. So the roof should be safe. At least I think it is.
All right.
I always can be wrong.
I have been not here for about 5 minutes.
Oh, no worries. So Nira, you're on the roof of the library, and you're able to see the stars. You're able to see the sky. It looks like the cloud cover that was over the city is mostly cleared up. What are you trying to do?
In the vein of this party, I didn't think that far ahead.
That is very on brand for this party.
So I'm on the top.
See Nira going away, or
No, you're asleep.
So I have the map. I have the stars. I only need a direction. Radiant Fish Giver. I actually tell it aloud. But where do you want us to go?
Do an empathy check.
Okay. Oh, that is going to go so bad, so good. Oh, not so bad. 16.
16? You get this vague sense that a lot of the answers to your questions, or at least the next step on your quest, is probably at the cathedral, or the chapel building, the religious building in the city. and you can use the star maps and the stars to sort of locate a
Yeah, but
direction
that-
towards it.
Yeah, but that I already knew. Maybe another direction then. Is there any constellation that has fish in the name? Kind of index. Copying the index.
Sure. We'll say there is a constellation in there called New Pisces.
New pie season?
Assuming I know that is fish.
Yes, sorry. Pisces. Pisces is a Earth constellation.
I just heard you wrong. Thank you.
Gotcha. But this is
Okay.
called New Pisces.
But I know that means fish.
Yes, you do.
Okay. And
New
which...
pie season.
which... so I'm trying to locate it on the sky.
Okay,
Using the maps.
roll naturalist for this. 9.
9.
You do have one last d6 available that you could add to that.
Not. I'm using it. I'm not using
Okay.
it.
You try to find it, but it could be that it's just you're not really able to see it really well. It might be the wrong time of year to see it, but you don't locate it in the sky.
So, actually, stars are pretty. That's all I get.
Pretty much, yeah.
But
It was a good
anyway,
try, though.
It's a hell of nice view. The stars. I actually seen them first time in my life. They are very
And-
beautiful.
So sweet.
It's true, and because there's no artificial light whatsoever in the city, you can see all of them very clearly.
Like around the
Um,
country. That's so cool.
Let me see if I have.
That's super nice,
Um,
actually. You could actually just at that point use the star chart and just stare at the star chart and then stare at the sky. And if it's not right, flip the page.
Yeah.
I don't have an image for that. I don't think that ever made it into Roll20. I did have a picture for that, but oh well. Yeah, it's very pretty. It's very sci-fi alien planet looking sky. So you've got a lot of different stars, and then there's a planet with rings that you can see really clearly, like as close as you would see the moon on Earth. It's very, very pretty.
So,
A little like
I will go to the edge of the roof to take a look down too.
Okay. As
Right,
you
right.
look down, you can see the edge of the dome that Billy is keeping up. And then sort of in the streets that you can kind of make out, little alleyways and intersections, you do see the faint outline of some shadows moving. This way and
they
that
are
way.
moving on the street, like I was saying, and they are not floating in the air.
Nope, you don't notice anything flying through the air at this time.
Okay.
how many does Nero see?
It's impossible to count them because it's really just like little flickers of movement here and there.
Yeah, it's more movement than objects.
Oh,
But if you had to guess, at least 3 or 4 in the area.
okay. Sorry, in my head I was thinking more like impossible to count them, as in you'd run out of fingers and toes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Okay.
So-
3 or 4. That's fine.
Okay. We'll hop back down to Billy real quick
Oh right.
for this. So we see Billy has what looks like a shooting star keyblade of light
looks
with
like.
markings of the sea and fishes along with Kara symbol on the keyblade with veins of light extending from the hand to the keyblade. It's a single-use magic item. Billy or Michael, what does this blade do in particular other than look amazing?
Oh, you muted, Michael.
You're
Muted.
muted.
You're still
Still-
muted.
Very still muted.
Still.
Nope.
Still muted.
This was
There
primarily
we go.
just inspired, like, just the imagery other people were going with light and such. I feel as though, like, what is happening is that Billy is almost kind of like communing, like almost as in the fish and all that, and it's allowing for kind of like I'd say like a magical equivalent of just like a pack weapon, maybe, like where like all of this is just agreeing like you are doing everything right, so like the weapon itself just kind of like, well, like Billy doesn't even notice, it's just dancing along with the fish, and it's just almost as though like the fish god and Kira are blended into a weapon to kind of like save everyone, since Billy's been the one that's been mostly combat.
Okay, that's awesome. That's fantastic. And popping back over to Nira real quick, I will say this: you do have sort of we'll put it this way. There's a little message that pops up on your helmet, sort of like an email with an unknown sender address, and it gives you like the record number for a book to check out in the library. This is after you're done looking at doing all the stargazing.
Oh, Helmet, what are you telling? What do you want to tell me, Helmet?
Hello, Nira. You have a new message from an unknown sender.
Oh, and what does the message tell?
The message just says a record number. It looks like the same type of record number that you would find in this library. I'm not sure how you received this message, as I am not connected to the Sentinel network.
No, don't worry. That answer to this question, I know.
I'm
Thank you,
incapable of worry.
Radiant Fish Giver. What was that, Helmet? I kind of missed that.
So the helmet goes, I'm incapable of worry.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Worrying is bad. Everybody tells me that always. So thank you, Radiant Fish Giver, and I can go back now.
Okay. You've managed to find the book pretty quickly, assuming that you look for it immediately.
No.
No? Okay.
I will share that discovery in the morning with everybody.
In that case, whenever you go looking for it, you'll be able to find it very easily. And then, Xavier, was there anything else that you wanted to do in the evening besides get a good night's rest?
Xavier would absolutely before, like, if Billy gets tired, Xavier will just check in with Billy every so often and make sure Billy's not getting tired. And if Billy gets tired, we'll take over re-upping the barrier.
Okay. Then we will just do that without rolls there. In that case, I think this is a good place to stop. So we can pick up next week in the morning as you all wake up or happen to look over and notice that it's getting lighter outside. And so next week we'll address what Conrad finds. We'll address the information that Nira got, and we'll find out how Billy deals with sleep deprivation, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that depends how you want to play that out. Do you want to? Because I'm good with that, or you could say kind of like was revital like because of the communal with the god, like that.
It's like sleep.
Like again, like it's not as though like it's almost as though like Billy was allowing kind of like the energy to work through him by the gods. So I'll go with whatever you say.
Like a meditation?
Yeah, like as that movement was. So
okay.
Like
roll,
however you want to determine it, I'm good with.
I will let you do this. We'll do this last thing before we say our favorite parts and go on a raid. I know, right?
One more roll in. Let's go.
One more roll. Let's do an empathy roll. Just as a quick reminder, you do have a d6 and an advantage available.
I'm gonna use the advantage.
All right. Roll one more time.
There
Okay,
we go.
there we go.
There we go.
I was like, rolling 2 11s in a row. I'm gonna blame that on roll 20, especially since we're using an advantage for this. All right, so an 18, and we'll call that a 22. I'm giving you one of my d4s because it's so dang close. So with a 22, yes. You are awake for the whole night, but because of the floating fish and what you're doing and the whole sort of meditation aspect of it, and the fact that you've sort of become a sort of self-proclaimed kind of paladin of Kara, essentially, I'm going to say that you don't suffer any effects of having not slept. So you're actually perfectly fine in the morning. You feel like you had a decent night's sleep, even though you didn't actually go to sleep.
Excellent.
Awesome. We're going to go on a raid here in just a moment, but I do want to give everybody a chance to say what your favorite moments were, where we can find you next, and any other projects or anything that you'd like to share. And we'll start with Callan. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? And anything else that you'd like to share?
That was so cool as always, gang. Interesting seeing everybody sort of on the surface, like terrified of like how alien it all was. That was heaps of fun. I think individual moments. I think it has to be Nira sort of like going up by herself and trying to make heads or tails of a star chart. That's very sweet.
That was great.
Just being like terrified of the open sky until the stars came out and there was some sort of beauty in it. That was very charming.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that was cool. All of it was great. I'm very very keen to see where things go from here, for sure.
Awesome.
As always, you find me here every week for Lightbringer, and otherwise on Twitter, my name thing. But happy to be here. It was a wonderful episode. Thank you, Carsten. Thank you, Raven, and thank you,
Absolutely.
everyone else tuning in. Something.
Yeah. Fantastic. Gwen, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? And anything else that you'd like to share?
So, my favorite part was absolutely the part where Xavier got on top of the roof in their place, and people turn around like, Xavier, and he goes, hi, I'm up here.
That was pretty great.
Immediately finding a book too. Very Xavier.
Yes. And then Alex is like, yeah, did you find a book? I'm like, yes.
That was a great moment.
Xavier. Question though, that Bard success, since it didn't come into play this session, is it
you are in the
still-
clear. It is just for the session. So
that's dangerous information for me.
yeah, that effect is gone now. That's the whole thing, is you can use it for an auto success, but you gamble losing a success for the rest of the session. So I'd probably say if you use it like on your last roll of the game, like it's the session's about to end, we'll roll that over to the next one. But for the most part, yeah.
Oh, I was about to say, because that's the idea I just got.
If I know you're trying to game the system, I will roll it over to the next session.
Hey, I'm more than willing to take it next session if that'll make you happy.
But yeah, that is the nice thing about borrowed success, is that you may lose a success later, but you might not. It's a gamble.
We'll get ours in good time.
But we can find you next. I know tomorrow for Hunters of Calamity. Is there anything else that you wanted to share?
Wait, tomorrow? Is tomorrow?
Hunters of
Tomorrow,
Calamity?
Tuesday, Hunters of Calamity, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah.
How many weeks?
Again, busy, so
busy.
it's easy.
That's-
Plus,
That's fair.
Yeah. The only reason I remember is because I have it ingrained in my head now. It's like, okay, I'm playing Lightbringer right now, so Hunters must be tomorrow. Not because I know tomorrow's Tuesday, but because I'm playing Lightbringer right now, so Hunters must be tomorrow.
That's the trick.
Yep. With that, we're going to pass it over to Echodorlax. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? And anything else that you'd like to share?
I love the symmetry of things because I knew what my favorite fragment will be the moment it happened, and it's the Conrad's lone adventures in the basement. I was typing it to the chat when you said it my turn, so I didn't finish writing it and sending it. But it goes like this: we have this character that's, I would say, it's known as the least brave character of the party, Conrad. He is afraid of his own shadow. And then he goes to the basement alone in the middle of the night. He hears the darkness breathe and tells the denizens of this darkness, I'm one of you, let's not make a fuss here. Everything in cold blood is just beautiful how the meeting of the god of darkness changed this character. I love it.
Ditto. It's fantastic.
Still afraid of
Oh
physical
my
is
gosh.
trying to climb a rope. That still inspires terror.
Conrad is like
it's progress.
Conrad gives all the feels.
Yeah,
That's true.
you got over
And-
mental. Now you got physical problems to worry about.
That's it.
And I have nothing lined up for this week, so we will see each other in a week time again
Monday.
at Lightbringer.
Excellent.
Perfect.
So see you all next week.
All right. And Michael, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? And anything else that you'd like to share?
The bit that actually was inspiring of the whole Keyblade thing was the whole Nira that's been in the star thing that's been going so far. Like, that was my personal favorite of just almost as though kind of like understanding this kind of like god that's about food. Does Nira seem to understand more, and more of the group is opening up together, which makes it the whole Conrad going in the basement scene. That's so much good. Just like that on the flip side, I'm just like, holy, just wow. And like I'm just utterly amazed. Like lots of little good moments from everyone here, and most of the game, I just shut up and watched you guys. You guys were brilliant.
But
I don't know too much about me.
Well, like again, you were like for years it's more reactionaries rather than going out. Like especially the book. Like, oh my god, that is just perfect Xavier. Oh, I don't care if I'm in danger. I have a book now. Like it's just like so many good little moments throughout here. Like you guys are doing a great job, and kind of felt a little heartbreaking that Twain learned to be mean from M5.
Sassy helmet.
Sad.
I would die for
I'm
Dewey.
sad.
I love them
Yes,
so
I would
much.
absolutely die for Dewey. And so would Xavier.
Oh,
Xavier would die
goodness.
for knowledge.
Yeah.
So Dewey is.
Dewey was fun.
I'm on Twitter as Michael Wayne. Something to help promote. my friend Francita from Chile is actually starting kind of like a whole critical pin thing on Kickstarter that just went live today. A series of like LGBTQ and A and plus or non-binary and everything. Like, there's a lot of them. Like, very pretty. Critical dem or critically agender or critically trans, like, or critically gender fluid. It's just really pretty. Like, hey,
Oh yeah, I
hope
saw
like
those.
you guys.
I retweeted that.
Yeah,
That was
Like-
amazing.
yeah. Like, it's always been a joy. Like, hopefully, like everyone, like one day I get to play a game with you, you viewers, audience, people that are watching. Remember, we're all in this together. I'm pulling for you.
Absolutely. And my favorite part, I do have to second that whole. A lot of times it's great to just sit back and watch what you all do. It's definitely one of the easier games to DM. Not that I have a hard game with any of the casts on this channel. They're all amazing, but this is one particular game where a lot of times I do just sit back and let you all go because what you're doing is so amazing, and it's been great. But favorite part probably was just as you're all going through the city, and I keep mentioning little things that could be taken benignly or ominously, and watching you all go, wait, what did she mean by that? There was a lot of little, like, I'm just gonna mess with the players a little bit here and there stuff that was a lot of fun. But also seeing how you all either purposely ignored it or addressed it in a creative way was just really, really fun to see. But yeah, the whole thing was just great. And with that, definitely thank you to the cast. Thank you, Michael, for the donation, and everybody for all the guild coin usage. All of those things were really cool and definitely brought out a lot of interesting things in the story. Yeah, thank you, everybody. We're gonna go on a raid. So I just checked, and Scraticus is on right now, and they're doing the it's Bard Night, so it's their. I'm not sure exactly what all's going on there, but it's something about D&D and Twitch
It's
things
Twitch
combined.
Yeah, you're singing
dear.
in character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty cool. Definitely go check it out. If you're not already following Scrat, Scrat was a big influence for how I got started doing all the stuff that I'm doing. So definitely give them a follow and check out the other stuff they do because they're amazing. And I will see you all tomorrow, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, for Hunters of Calamity. And then, oh yeah, I almost forgot. Our raid cry is, did Tenebrae look like Jeff Bezos?
That that tracks.
Yeah, but yeah, that definitely tracks.
So yeah, we will see you all tomorrow.